The Western Conference Final in the NBA is headed to Game 7 after the Spurs beat OKC 114-91 yesterday. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow night. The Sabres, they announced yesterday they've signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level contract. And in the NHL playoffs, the Eastern Conference Final continues tonight with Game 5. Carolina can slam the door on Montreal as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop is set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagoner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey through the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers said he feels 100% healthy and is practicing at full speed. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell, dealing with a knee injury, is working off to the side at organized team activities. And Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated it will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, Blue Jays beat the Orioles 2-1 yesterday. The Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. The Mets, they host the Marlins today at 7:10, and the Yankees play the A's tonight at 9:40. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Jeremy White and Joe DiBiase.
Happy Friday, everyone.
You see the soft serve chocolate ice cream cone in a toilet?
Well, hello. Happy Friday. For the next 4 hours, we will take you on a journey. We should open every show like that, like we're, like John Facenda from NFL Films. Mm-hmm. At 6 a.m. we begin.
That's a pretty good John Facenda.
Not bad?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right. Well, anyway,
Go
we're
for
here.
it.
Jeremy and Joe, Owen Parker, Joe Cali. Hi, everybody. We've got Nick Mendola at 8 o'clock because we have a Champions League final tomorrow. And the World Cup's coming up, and turns out he's covering it for NBC Soccer. Mm-hmm. Nick covers soccer. And I talked to him yesterday, and he let me know he's going to be at the World Cup final. He's going to the game to cover that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's pretty great, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all the angles, and we're about, 12 days away, 13, 14 days, 2 weeks away from the start of the tournament. So get, a full Team USA preview. We have a Team USA preview where the USA coach is already out the door for his next job. That's not ideal, right?
Yeah,
Pochettino's going to, who is it, Milan? AC Milan?
Yep.
So it's kind of like Lane Kiffin scenario going into the World Cup where
Kind of.
all right, he's leaving.
Right, like nothing could change in the tournament. What if you win it? They're not going to win it. But what if you win it? You're not going to stick around?
As the Team
I guess
USA
because
coach?
it's a national team and it's not a club team, you're not doing as much.
It would be wild to be leaving for Mexico. Just
leaving
one country.
another country.
That would be pretty wild.
That would be right. Yeah, to go to some classic, English power or European power is not
rivalry. Just leaving the U.S. to go to England. Rivalry matchup.
I mean, that is professionally. How many sporting events can you cover that are bigger than the FIFA World Cup final? There's not many.
There's not,
or maybe there are none. I mean, internationally there would be none. Here, the World Series or the Super Bowl probably might outrank it. But
I don't think those outrank the World Cup.
Not the Super Bowl.
Globally, I don't think.
No, that's why I mean globally. I wouldn't tell you that.
Yeah.
But here.
Pretty big.
In the U.S., maybe you'd have to put the Super Bowl above it.
So I was thinking about that because it would have been, I don't know, a month ago, 4 months ago, where we were ranking where the U.S. winning the World Cup would rank in our what we want to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you'd much rather have the Bills win the Super Bowl and the Sabres win the Stanley Cup. And I don't know where we put USA Hockey winning the gold medal, probably above it. And that happened. So how much do we really want it, right? There are times in the past where the World Cup will take over, and it's in the summer, so the competition is just baseball and training camps, right?
Yep.
Not even really training camps. It happens
No,
not
training
against
camps end of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets a perfect window, a spotlight. We're going to see a bunch of great soccer games. I can remember the last couple World Cups having big, huge parties, watching games, and if the U.S. were to win it, like you said, you kind of like brushed it off. They're not going to win it.
They're not going to win it.
I agree with that. They're not going to win it. But if they did, where would it rank for us? You know, I wanted as much as I would want.
Yeah, what did we decide on that? I mean, it was certainly below either of the teams here locally.
But we were even going to like other stuff. Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the Sabres get Jordan Kyrou or the U.S. win the World Cup? Connor Hellebuck or the U.S. wins the World Cup? Like, let's put it in real perspective here, how much it would mean.
I think I'd rather have the two trades. One of the two trades.
One of the two trades?
I think I'd rather have one of the two trades. Yeah.
The U.S. wins the World Cup, or the Bills trade for Justin Jefferson next year.
Oh, I mean,
because I just saw
that's an easy one.
That next year the conversation on Jefferson is the same as it was this year for A.J. Brown. The Vikings save like $30 million if it's a post-June 1 trade next year, if they wanted to move him.
All right.
If he got frustrated.
All right. I've been waiting for, I feel like, 3 years to be like, oh, Jefferson, he could be frustrated, and then he just isn't frustrated. Or at least not enough that he acts on it.
Did you get your way to a beer saber?
No, I did not.
Okay, the U.S. wins the World Cup, or you get a beer saber. You're thinking hard.
I might take the World Cup on that one.
You're thinking kind of hard here.
I mean, if they won the World Cup, would they have like a traveling parade that would go to different cities? Like, I don't know what a country does when they win the World Cup.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And they probably wouldn't come here, would they?
I can't imagine they would.
Because unless they're going to 50 cities,
right?
You know.
Yeah, where would we rank?
Right, we're a pretty good sports town.
We are.
In fact, actually, you know what? Maybe we'd be higher than that. Like, I don't know that we'd be top 10, but
we don't have an MLS team.
But NBC,
we have FC Buffalo.
Last year, when they released like their year-long ratings for the Premier League, Buffalo was the #1 market. I'll find that. I think it was for the year that this city was the best viewed market for the Premier League. So, good soccer town, I think. I think that's what that means.
Yeah, fair enough.
Especially given that we don't have an MLS team like a lot of other cities would have.
Right.
But I think you're probably right. Like, they'd go to like 5 cities and we would not be on the list.
But that's coming up. Nick Mendola, 8 o'clock today on all the soccer happenings. The game tomorrow is a big one. And, of course, the full Team USA and the full World Cup preview. Like, who's the good story this year? Who is Argentina, the emotional one you should pull for, blah, blah, blah.
Would you rather have a U.S. World Cup win or you break your best golf round ever this year?
Oh, golf.
Yeah?
You mean I get to shoot a 79? Let's go.
It's a little selfish.
Very selfish.
Yeah, like at least for like...
But do you know how good I would feel?
I'm picking these Sabres or Bills things that at least the entire region will enjoy. You're picking something only you will enjoy over a nation.
Yeah. But I would enjoy it an awful lot.
I was going to ask hole in one, so I guess that would be too easy.
All right, hole in one. Yeah, I'd like to get in that club too.
Yeah. I'd like to win a member guest tournament. That would be on the list before.
I got one of those.
I'll go selfish there. I'd rather have one of those than
803-0550. So we'll get to some World Cup talk a little bit later in the show. Have some fun stuff planned for you as well. On that front, like Bills or Sabres, who is closer? This conversation can be had for the first time
ever.
Ever?
They haven't been good at the same time.
The 93, 99?
We could have asked the question in like 2016 when neither team was very good.
Fair. Who's closer?
Right.
Do you want to say who's closer to a title, or there's another way to ask this that I thought might bring the results closer together. Who is closer to having the claim of being the best team in the sport? Because there's winning the thing, and then there's, I think that's the best team in hockey or the best team in football, right? Jordan Phillips, when he re-signed with the Bills, like, this is the best team in football. Best quarterback, best receiver, best this and that. And for the Sabres, we watched them go 7 games with Montreal, who's not looking like they stack up with Carolina. But who has a claim to be closer to the top, the Bills or the Sabres?
I think for that best team, I think you have to say the Bills are. Just because of how many years in a row they've done it. And Allen. Like, I do not think the Sabres are going to really regress. I heard Lindy Ruff on Sabres Live yesterday. Like, one thing that I'm not worried about, but that I wouldn't want to see them do is decide after that playoff run that we weren't tough enough to play against, or we were too wide open, and we have to change what we do. And Lindy yesterday basically echoed what Jeff Merrick said to us last week. Like, Lindy basically said, like, teams that know who they are and just become elite at that are the best teams.
Yeah.
He was talking about Carolina, but he's, I'm sure, referring to his own team as well.
I read an article about Carolina that was about maybe Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic about how Carolina took a lesson from Florida.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the way the Sabres play, too. How did Florida play? Relentless on you in your own zone. How does Carolina play? Same way. How do the Sabres play? When they're at their best, I mean, that's one of the things they are doing is they're smothering you in your own zone. Of course, they're defensemen and, the high cycle and stuff like that, but
so I really want to couch it by saying, like, I do not think the Sabres are going to regress in a big way. Like, could they go down from 109 points to 101 points? Like, of course, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Bills are really, to some degree, regression proof as long as Allen is their quarterback. Like, there is a security with him under center that makes me think you are automatically one of the best teams in the league every year, even if you did everything wrong around that guy. You are going to be one of the best teams in the league. And you'll get to the playoffs, and then we'll figure out if your weaknesses that we've all noticed along the way are too much to overcome in a postseason. Mm-hmm. But you're going to be a great team. Every year that's been true. And for the Sabres, I think they're going to, but is there an outcome where they get 2 injuries and the goaltending regresses and puck luck? And Florida's back. And now, I missed the playoffs with 98 points. Like, I think that's more out there for the Sabres than it is for the Bills. The Bills, I think, are just safer in that discussion of...
outside of one injury.
Yeah.
One injury for the Bills, and it would all go
Whereas
away.
The Sabres, like, they could have a couple of injuries to multiple units, to multiple groups. Like, what would happen if one of their top 4 defensemen got injured for a long period of time?
If Darlene got hurt, would they miss the playoffs?
Right. Or it could be any of the 4, really.
Sure.
Like, what would happen if Power missed 30 games in a season or Byram missed 20 games in a season? I think they still could be fine, but, right, like the Bills, okay, Greg Rousseau got injured. What are they? They're going to win 11 games.
Right.
Or DJ Moore even got injured. They're going to win 10 games. Like, I just think they are safer in that discussion than the Sabres are. So I think I'd want to give it to them for, well, who's closer to being the best team. I don't know if that has to mean, though, they have to be the answer for winning the championship. Sabres play a sport that, look at Montreal. You don't even really have to be the most impressive team, and you can find yourself in the conference finals. So
isn't that true of football too, though?
Because of New England,
it was Denver and New England this year.
Denver and New England. How isn't that pretty rare though? Wasn't that a rare outcome? Like, hockey is 8. Florida is an 8 seed a couple years ago. LA wins the Cup as an 8 seed. Vegas loses more games than they win this season, and they're in the Stanley Cup. Like, I just feel like hockey, it's, you could just show up and get hot, and you're in.
Yeah.
And football, I feel like it's just more often, at least in the AFC, it's been, you got to be the best team. You got to be the best quarterback. You got to be one of the elites to get there. And other than New England this past year, you can't just show up, be average, and luck your way in. So I might want to give it a push on the championship. Is that a lot to say? I think the Sabres have pulled themselves even in the race.
I think it's a lot to say. Half the reason I put this poll up was because I thought seeing the Sabres number, really all we'll learn is what people think of the Sabres here. It's 75-25 in the early running for the Bills. And maybe that's just staying power. I have a comment in the chat here about I'm not convinced a half year playing good crowns the Sabres as a perennial playoff team. And that's right. Like, you kind of can't crown yourself as a 5-time playoff team in 1 year.
Right.
But the way they played and their roster certainly seems pretty sustainable that they'll maintain it. And it was not a good month. It was a good 6 months, almost 5 months. Mm-hmm. And not just a good 5 months where they played like the Flyers. I mean, they were the second best, the first best team in hockey for more than half of the season.
I think they were the best.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot there, and not everything they did was great. It was not held up by the power play. It might have been held up by some pretty good goaltending and some pretty good finishing, but whatever. It's a fun time, and who's closer? I think it's easy to say the Bills because their next season starts first. Right? like they start in September, and the Sabres you have to wait till October, I guess. But still, we'll know the next version of the Bills before we know the next version of the Sabres. And man, a year where both are expected to be good is going to be wild. A year where will they both be picked to win their division? The Bills certainly will be co-favorites at worst. And the Sabres, I'm not so sure if they'll be picked to win the division. My guess is everyone's going to crown Tampa again like they have. Or is that not happening?
I think it's going to be Tampa, and I think it's going to be Florida again.
Yeah.
I think Florida is going to get right back in the discussion, and it'll depend maybe what they do this offseason. I did yesterday? I went back and listened to the full end-of-season press conference by Connor Hellebuck, and I came away thinking, this dude's going to Florida. This dude is going to the Florida Panthers. And if they did something like that, why are they not right back at the top? Because they were just the most injured team in the league. And by the way, they did win more games than Vegas did.
How did you pick Florida?
Him?
Yeah.
He just went on and on a couple of times about how, I've been almost depressed about it. I like it here in Winnipeg, but the league, what am I supposed to say at this point? The league doesn't. The league doesn't want to come here. And he mentioned a couple of times about, all that's left for me is winning the Stanley Cup and going to a place or being in a place where you could take that next step that players want to come to, how important that is. Yeah. That really was it. It was how important it is to be a team that players want to come to, and he signed very resigned to the fact that, Winnipeg, I've been here long enough to know that is never going to happen here. That doesn't mean I think he couldn't come to Buffalo and think that Buffalo could be that or that 5 other teams could. But Florida is the team everyone has been Marchand or remember Tarasenko. This was you're not allowed to talk to anybody but them about where I'm being traded.
Yeah, that's right. I guess
and they don't have a goalie.
That's a careful way for him to say, I like it here, the league doesn't.
Yes.
Because that's him saying the idea of sticking here and it getting better, I don't think it will happen.
Right, exactly.
Because people don't want to come here. Now, Florida or Tampa doesn't need a goalie. Florida or Buffalo. What makes Buffalo different from Winnipeg? I'm not sure. The difference might be that Winnipeg had the best record in the sport.
Yeah.
And you still might think people don't want to go to Winnipeg. Would they go to Buffalo instead just because of what? The Southern Ontario proximity? A lot of players come from Ontario. That's closer to home. Here I am trying to, at 6 a.m. on a Friday, tell you the differences between Buffalo and Winnipeg. And I just don't know, are we out ahead of ourselves a little bit thinking, people would want to come here if they didn't want to go to Winnipeg?
Well, part of it, too, would be I think maybe it's more a comment about Winnipeg in that he said at the outset, the comment everyone ran with immediately was basically that all that's left for me is to win a Stanley Cup. And he's talking about the Jets and how nobody wants to be a part of what we just went through.
Right.
And a lot of things need to happen here. He's kind of telling you with that other comment about how the league doesn't want to come here. He doesn't think they're going to be able to do what it would take. And he might look at the Sabres and say they already have it.
Right.
For them, maybe it's not as important that they're not number one on players' list of where you want to go because all that's left for me, I've won 3 Vezinas. I've won the gold medal. I was the star in that game. All that's left for me to do is win the Stanley Cup. And I think if I went to the Sabres tomorrow, they'd be the Stanley Cup favorites.
So this is Connor Hellebuck's palm trees speech. But he didn't say palm trees. He's from Michigan.
I think that might be right, by the way. If he came to the Sabres, they'd be the favorites in the Eastern Conference. Why wouldn't they be?
Because Tampa gets crowned. Because Tampa was...
I think that would pull you to their level in that sort of discussion.
It is certainly the part of the team that the general, maybe non-Sabres fan might be the most skeptical of.
Right.
We talked about it going to the playoffs. Who are you picking in a series, Buffalo or Tampa? And the answer is, I'll pick Vasilevsky. Mm-hmm. That guy has won a lot. And, Luukkonen and Lyon had been unchallenged to that point in the playoffs. How'd they play in the playoffs for the next pick? If they're there, if they run it back with the same goalies and it's the same 2 guys and we're thinking, all right, how do we like their chances in the playoffs? Do you feel, I'll tell you what, I don't feel any different than I did coming into this year, which is I kind of don't know what I'll get. I think someone could get hot. Lyon was very good for a full series.
Yep.
And other than that, I would think these aren't household names. I don't know if I'd want them to go with one guy rolling in or just alternate like they did because they had success alternating. I'm kind of I'm fast-forwarding a full year and getting right back to where I was.
I know.
Which, when you put it that way, I wonder if Lindy and Yarmo want to do that. Now, Lindy, yesterday on Sabres Live, talking about he and Yarmo texting through games. They're just watching games in these Stanley Cup playoffs and texting back and forth about plays and players nonstop. Which,
I like that.
right? Do you watch that and think, are they texting, I can't believe we lost to Dobesh? Like I'm what?
Well,
they might.
that would be a part of like who's closer to win a championship. Like, do they think we can win the Stanley Cup rotating goalies in a playoff the way we did? Because if you don't believe the answer is yes, then tell me which of your two guys you trust to go through 4 rounds and play well through all of it. Like, Luukkonen could give you great games. You think he's going 4 rounds for you and not imploding at some point? He did it twice in 2 series, and he didn't even play the full series. Lyon, I liked his numbers. I think he's 5th among all goalies in the playoffs in goals saved above expected per 60. Like, he's still, even with the worst period we've ever seen in our lives, still has decent numbers comparative to the playoffs. So maybe you could get there with Lyon, but I would even be skeptical of that. Like, do they think they could go through 4 rounds with these goalies? And that would, to me, be the biggest point of uncertainty for the Sabres. Versus with the Bills, it would just be what? Like, that we haven't seen their coaches yet really in action? That would be the uncertainty there. Like, we don't know yet what Jim Leonard's defense looks like or how good it will actually be. We don't know how different it will actually be with Joe Brady calling plays as the head coach versus the offensive coordinator. Like, that's really your only point of like big uncertainty, I would say, on the Bills side of things. Because otherwise, you should feel pretty comfortable. Like, they're just going to be one of the elite teams of the league every year.
Yeah, the coach thing is a big part of it. We don't know. And with the Sabres, do we think they have an elite coach? Probably one of the better coaches.
Yeah,
in the league.
I do.
Top 5, top 10, top 5.
I think he sounds like he knows what his own team is good at, and he lets them do that.
Yeah. 803-0550 if you want to chime in. 1-888-552-550. Friday, May 29th. It was this day in history. We were getting over Game 5 of the Carolina series, right? That was yesterday, the 20-year anniversary?
Yeah.
So tomorrow's Game 6. Game 7 will
That
happen.
was a good memory.
Game 6 was a good memory.
Although the only thing I remember from the entire game is the Briere overtime winner. I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened before that.
Me either.
And that goal, you should see that goal tomorrow when the highlight gets spread around. Doesn't it go like way up in the air before it goes in?
Yeah, it hits the top of the glove and pops up and lands on the goal line and crawls across.
Okay. Yeah.
And the Finneganov is an inch away from getting the goal.
Oh.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember
You
that.
watch it live, you're not quite
He
sure.
He almost gets it?
Oh, yeah. I'm talking half an inch from that goal being Max's goal as he pokes it across and finishes the job. Surprised you didn't know that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, 803-0550 and 1-888-552-550 to join us.
When's the last time you were able to put this poll up? Like, really?
And
99?
And the case would be made that both of them were good and could be considered close.
Both of them are like not
in rebuilds.
Not a laugh off for they
Like,
could win the championship in their next season.
Right. Like, we're not talking about the Sabres after the tank versus the Bills with the 3rd pick.
Like 99, I don't think would have been this, right? Like the Sabres made the final as an 8 seed, right? Or a 7 seed, but
I think you could do it 99.
Were the Bills, though, with Flutie and Johnson ever thought of as like they could win the Super Bowl?
I mean, if you're a playoff team, are you any different than the Sabres as an 8 seed? There's just one guy that can take you there. I think you could have posted it 99. But it's been a long time.
And then early 90s, maybe there was a Sabre season.
Can you imagine like 5 years, not just one summer or one little year here, but 5 years of both teams being competitive and good?
Yeah.
What if they both win?
The double. What's the last city that did that?
Here's a question that's never been asked before.
Okay.
I'm fairly confident.
What if they both, and it's not, what if they both won it in the same year?
No. Because there's always, who would you rather see win one? And that's tough to answer, right? What's more meaningful, the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup? Which one would you rather see win 2 if they each have one? I'm pretty sure that's never been asked.
That is definitely
They
never
each
been
get
asked.
one.
I've definitely been asked, like, which one would you rather have to win the first one?
So, okay, in this scenario, on a Friday at 6 a.m., they both are going to get one. Who do you want to have 2?
Put that poll up without any context on Twitter and see what people say. The first one to have 2?
Just who would you? You're gonna. Win,
my answer might change.
You're gonna win 3 championships. One of the teams wins 2 of them. Who do you want to win 2? I have an answer.
I think my answer might change compared to what my answer would be for who wins 1.
Do you have a firm answer on who you want to get 1?
Yeah, the Sabres.
You'd rather have the Sabres win?
Absolutely.
But you'd rather have the Bills win 2? Because I think
I'd rather have the Bills win 2.
All right.
If you told me, hey, whoever wins, it's going to be 2, at least 2, then I might switch it.
I think that if
It's an Allen point.
Before you answer this, Owen, has this question ever been asked before?
No way.
I don't think it's ever.
No
I've never heard it.
You are
Right?
Absolutely
You are landing on the moon.
Right,
Like
right.
you are Neil Armstrong in 19. Yeah, no.
They're
this
gonna
never
come drug test us today. Like, you hear what they're doing?
What's happening?
What day is it? Friday.
6/26.
6/26 on a Friday.
What cities should we send this clip to? This question to? Boston, Kansas City, Montreal. Who wants to
Toronto.
hear?
Boston.
Who wants to hear what we're talking about?
Boston wants this
Yes.
clip.
Boston?
Boston
Badly.
wants this clip for sure.
badly. You said it just at the end when you were talking there, Joe. I think it's an Allen point. If Allen gets 2, he becomes like, okay, is he like the second best guy ever? I think if he gets 1, that's tougher to do. If he gets 2,
He's got to get 3 to tie Mahomes.
There's a legacy thing though. If he starts piling them up,
right? If he gets 2, I think he becomes a true.
He becomes every bit as good as Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
Well,
that was for Joe. That was just for Joe.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
If he can get to Mahomes 3, that's even better. But to win 2, it's definitely the Bills to win. But I'm kind of with Joe. I want the Sabres to crack it first. I feel like that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
803-0550. If the Sabres crack it first, Josh is going to win his first post-age 30 in 31, 32.
Would the Sabres winning it first put sports? I could see the ESPN debate topic now. The day after the Sabres win the Cup, does this put more pressure on Josh Allen to win a championship?
Takes pressure off. Now the city is not a city of losers anymore, as some people say, idiots say.
Yeah.
Anyway, 803-0550. What else will we talk about today? Who knows?
Who we want to win 3 championships for the first time?
Who do you want to win 6 first?
Yeah.
803-0550. Game 7 on the way in the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the Spurs. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's very good. The Knicks will get a lot of rest, and that series will get started. And we'll see if Carolina can close out Montreal, which will happen tonight.
And if that happens, then the finals will begin, I think, 2 days earlier.
Yeah.
So could get us to the Stanley Cup final earlier. And at this point, like, Montreal's not winning. Like, let's just end it. Have an end here.
Right. We'll get into this a little later. It would not be shocking at all for me if Montreal gets absolutely run out of the building tonight. I think it'd be, of all the teams you've ever seen down 3-1, it is the toughest to believe, for me, that they still believe. How could you get 13 shots a game?
Right.
How could you believe in what you're doing? So we'll see. That's tonight, Game 5. Jeremy and Joe here on WGR. On that front, like Bills or Sabres, who is closer? This conversation can be had for the first time
Ever.
They
haven't been good at the same time.
The 93, 99?
We could have asked the question in, 2016 when neither team was very good.
Fair. Who's closer?
Right.
Do you want to say who's closer to a title, or there's another way to ask this that I thought might bring the results closer together. Who is closer to having the claim of being the best team in the sport? Because there's winning the thing, and then there's, I think that's the best team in hockey or the best team in football, right? Jordan Phillips, when he re-signed with the Bills, like, this is the best team in football. Best quarterback, best receiver, best this and that. And for the Sabres, we watched them go 7 games with Montreal, who's not looking like they stack up with Carolina. But who has a claim to be closer to the top, the Bills or the Sabres?
I think for that best team, I think you have to say the Bills are. Just because of how many years in a row they've done it. And Allen. Like, I do not think the Sabres are going to really regress. I heard Lindy Ruff on Sabres Live yesterday. Like, one thing that I'm not worried about, but that I wouldn't want to see them do, is decide after that playoff run that we weren't tough enough to play against, or we were too wide open, and we have to change what we do. And Lindy yesterday basically echoed what Jeff Merrick said to us last week. Like, Lindy basically said, like, teams that know who they are and just become elite at that are the best teams.
Yeah.
He was talking about Carolina, but he's, I'm sure, referring to his own team as well.
I read an article about Carolina that was about, maybe Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic, about how Carolina took a lesson from Florida.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the way the Sabres play, too. How did Florida play? Relentless on you in your own zone. How does Carolina play? Same way. How do the Sabres play? When they're at their best, I mean, that's one of the things they are doing, is they're smothering you in your own zone. Of course, they're defensemen and, the high cycle and stuff like that, but
yeah, so I really want to couch it by saying, like, I do not think the Sabres are going to regress in a big way. Like, could they go down from 109 points to 101 points? Like, of course, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Bills are really, to some degree, regression proof as long as Allen is their quarterback. Like, there is a security with him under center that makes me think you are automatically one of the best teams in the league every year, even if you did everything wrong around that guy.
The Western Conference Final in the NBA headed to Game 7 after the Spurs bested OKC 114-91. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow night. The Sabres, they announced yesterday they've signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level deal. And the Eastern Conference Final in the NHL continues tonight with Game 5. Carolina can slam the door on Montreal as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey through the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell, who's been dealing with a knee injury, is working off to the side at OTAs. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated it will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, the Blue Jays, they beat the Orioles 2-1 yesterday, and the Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. The Mets, they host the Marlins today at 7:10, and the Yankees play the A's tonight at 9:40. Those are your Paddock Chevrolet sports headlines. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Obama, pick and roll. Fox turns. Wemby follows.
Game 7 on the way.
Wemby was so good last night. Did you watch the beginning of that game?
No, I missed the beginning.
He came out like, I'm going to shoot threes in this game, and you're not going to be able to get a hand near me, and he just made them all. At the beginning, at least. And he had 28 points at the end of it. That series, I hope we get a better Game 7 tomorrow. It's a 7-game series where one game has been close. Game 1 went to double overtime. Every other game since then has been a blowout on either side. Mm-hmm. So you haven't had like big moments, buzzer beaters, I guess, for a series that kind of has lived up otherwise. But again, maybe we'll get that tomorrow.
803-0550 is our number.
And they're not calling the SGA fouls. They weren't last night.
I saw a clip of 2 consecutive times where he fell down and did not get a call.
Yep, and he played horribly.
He just falls.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody knows that. It's wild at this point. He just falls. 803-0550. We started talking this morning like who has a better claim to be at the top of their sport, the Bills or the Sabres? I saw something yesterday about Alex Tuck. I had to laugh at this. So there's a Twitter account, NHL Rumor Report.
Yep.
Did you see this one from yesterday?
Not from yesterday.
Okay. Jeff Merrick on the Sabres.
Okay.
I don't think that Yarmo was just thinking color around the edges here. At the trade deadline, he was ready to swing for the fences, and I don't think that's changed. You know what show he said that on?
No.
This one.
Oh, but it made Rumor Report yesterday?
It credited us, yeah.
So, okay, whoever runs that account must have gone back and listened on Friday.
It got around to Jeff.
Yesterday?
I see that. I'm like, ooh, that's juicy. I'm going to retweet. Oh, he said that with us on Monday.
Yeah.
Great. Don't think Yarmo's going to color around the edges. There's also, I guess we have to get into, it's Frank Saravalli season on hockey.
Yes, it is.
Which is saying Frank Saravalli
he
tells you what the agents say.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, at least 2 agents.
2 agents.
I feel like last year we figured out like there's 2 agents that it's most of it. But yeah.
And one of them is Tux, right?
I don't even know that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Whatever. Maybe that's his source, but the latest from Saravalli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now. Mm-hmm. And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuck's mouth. Mm-hmm. That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think
Sure.
I think I also understand the Sabres perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, I mean, he's elevated, right? Like from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like he was a third line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like he was not a top line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like, I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
The thing I would wonder about this, McLeod is the same, is he not? When he got here, he was a thing, and the Sabres put McLeod and Tuck both into elevated roles.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a third-line winger, Alex Tuck. You're a first-line winger. Like, what are his minutes?
McLeod went from, like, you're not a fourth-line center. You're, like, middle six.
Yeah. And both elevated their production.
Yep, by a lot.
And the thing I would wonder about is, like, do you want to pay for that, or do you want to say, we'll just do that again? There's a little bit of the wide receiver conversation. Shocker, I can bring it back to the receiver conversation. But when they got Diggs, they elevated him from a guy that got 100 targets to a guy that got 150 targets. And what happened?
He lived up to
look at that. Oh, my God. He's the same guy, but with more chances, he's better. And we thought they could maybe do that with other players.
They did it with Josh Doan, too.
They did it with the Sabres did it with Josh Doan.
Yeah.
The Bills did it with John Brown. The Bills did it with Cole Beasley.
Right.
Where these guys came in and got more opportunity, and more opportunity for a player that's pretty good means you're going to look like a better player from a production standpoint. So the shrewdest Yarmo to me would look at that and say, I'm going to find the next guy and do that with the next guy.
Right.
Because I'd like to push back on something that's being said about Tuch an awful lot. Does anybody really think the Montreal series changed the Sabres' thoughts on this? Does anybody really think that? Oh, we're going to let him walk because he had a bad series against Montreal, which, I mean, you could even argue he maybe didn't have a bad series. He just didn't actually get the puck in the net.
Right. Like scoring chances, he was third in the league in the second round or something.
Yeah.
Aren't
the Sabres going to look at that? If they're going to look at the goalie and say, well, the goalie played pretty well, it really wasn't his fault about one of these guys. Right. Wouldn't they have the same process about a forward where, all right, it didn't go in the net, but we don't think he played badly. Mm-hmm. He played fine against Boston, great against Boston.
Played really well against Boston.
So as much as that talking point is out there about fans maybe and the willingness to move on, I do not think that the Montreal series has changed the Sabres' course.
It might alleviate, though, a little bit of the pressure to do what you if you wanted to take the route of, I think I can find the next Alex Tuch and only pay $5 to $8 million for it and get the same level of production. I'm going to do that again. I did it with Doan. I did it with Tuch. I did it with McLeod. I'm going to go do that again. If you wanted to do that, I think it's easier to do it after Tuch had 0 points in the Montreal series. Because what if the opposite had happened? What if Tuch had done what he did in the Boston series, which was you lead the forwards in ice time, you're being used more than anybody, and you're like a point-a-game guy in round 2. And, I mean, if they had won the series with him doing that, I think that would increase it even more. Like, there would have been pressure to sign him. I think the better he did and the further you went in the playoffs, I almost feel like him having a goose egg in a 7-game series gives Yarmo an opportunity to say, hey, the appetite to bring you back isn't maybe what it was expected to be, and now I'm going to use that as an excuse to say, like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do anyway. Like, I think there are other smarter, sharper moves that we can make to replace you rather than give you the $10 million a year or $11 million per year, whatever. There was another Merrick thing yesterday I saw that he had heard that the Sabres were firm around the $9 million a year number.
Okay.
So, like, again, does Yarmo even hear that pressure, act on that pressure? Does Pagula, and does that trickle down to Yarmo if Tuch had an amazing series, but he didn't? So I think from the fan perspective, I feel like it would be easier to stomach now that he had a goose egg. No matter how well you think he might have played or might not have played, like his lasting series was a goose egg, and I think your talking points when you walk away are going to be easier when that happens.
Maybe.
For many.
The talking points for us, but the GM wouldn't say that, right?
No, the GM wouldn't.
The GM wouldn't say, well, the price got a little high in the last playoff series we saw.
Yeah, he wouldn't say
He wouldn't do that. Maybe, right, we would. The kind of thing where, when Diggs left, it was like, well, how much did he really do in their final game of the season in the playoffs? And,
right.
You'd say, like, well, all right, I guess that works. 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550. When we get back, I have a little quirk about the Bills' schedule that starts with they're the first team in history to blank. It's coming up next. On that front, like Bills or Sabres, who is closer? This conversation can be had for the first
Jeremy
time
White here for
Russell's Tree and Shrub Farm ever.
They haven't been good at the same time.
The 93, 99?
We could have asked the question in like 2016 when neither team was very good.
Fair. Who's closer?
Right.
Do you want to say who's closer to a title, or there's another way to ask this that I thought might bring the results closer together. Who is closer to having the claim of being the best team in the sport? Because there's winning the thing, and then there's I think that's the best team in hockey or the best team in football, right? Jordan Phillips, when he re-signed with the Bills, like, this is the best team in football. Best quarterback, best receiver, best this and that. And for the Sabres, we watched them go 7 games with Montreal, who's not looking like they stack up with Carolina. But who has a claim to be closer to the top, the Bills or the Sabres?
I think for that best team, I think you have to say the Bills are. Just because of how many years in a row they've done it. And Allen. Like, I do not think the Sabres are going to really regress. I heard Lindy Ruff on Sabres Live yesterday. Like, one thing that I'm not worried about, but that I wouldn't want to see them do, is decide after that playoff run that we weren't tough enough to play against, or we were too wide open, and we have to change what we do. And Lindy yesterday basically echoed what Jeff Merrick said to us last week. Like, Lindy basically said, like, teams that know who they are and just become elite at that are the best teams.
Yeah.
He was talking about Carolina, but he's, I'm sure, referring to his own team as well.
I read an article about Carolina that was about, maybe Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic, about how Carolina took a lesson from Florida.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the way the Sabres play, too. How did Florida play? Relentless on you in your own zone. How does Carolina play? Same way. How do the Sabres play? When they're at their best, I mean, that's one of the things they are doing, is they're smothering you in your own zone. Of course, they're defensemen and, the high cycle and stuff like that, but
yeah, so I really want to couch it by saying, like, I do not think the Sabres are going to regress in a big way. Like, could they go down from 109 points to 101 points? Like, of course, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Bills are really, to some degree, regression proof as long as Allen is their quarterback. Like, there is a security with him under center that makes me think you are automatically one of the best teams in the league every year, even if you did everything wrong around that guy.
the latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now. Mm-hmm. And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuck's mouth. Mm-hmm. That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think I also understand the Sabres' perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, I mean, he's elevated, right? Like, from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like, he was a third-line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like, he was not a top-line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and, like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season, that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like, I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
Hey, everybody. Back here on WGR, Jeremy and Joe. And, of course, we're streaming on YouTube as we are every day. And our presenting sponsor of our stream, Belknap Heating and Cooling. Notice a rattle in your ducts or a rise in your heating and cooling bills? If you do, give Belknap a ring with 0% financing. The cost of upgrading to a high-efficiency dual-fuel heating system is a breeze. Learn more at belknapheating.com. That's belknapheating.com. Go green, save energy and money with Belknap. Schedule a free estimate on your new installation. Give Belknap a ring at 688-1728 for more comfort and less ka-ching. Give Belknap a ring. That's Belknap, B-E-L-K-N-A-P, Belknap. So the Bills' schedule note. NFL Nerd Twitter account had this. It's a schedule account. There are 5 notes about the schedule this season. One is on the Bills, and at least one other is interesting. So I'll give you the top 2. But the Bills one is they are the first team ever scheduled for 5 primetime games versus interconference opponents. The primetime games are against the NFC.
Right.
Lions, Bears,
Rams,
Packers,
Vikings.
Rams, Vikings.
Yeah.
5 NFC primetime games. No one's ever done that before. So, little schedule quirk from the Bills.
In fact, that's all their NFC games.
They have 5?
Yeah.
That's it?
They're 5 for 5, right? All 5 NFC games are primetime games.
I guess a question from Mike North, the VP of would be, hey, is that an attempt to get a team in front of new audiences?
Right.
Right?
Right. How often do you get to see Buffalo, Josh Allen against the Packers?
Never.
Or Josh Allen against Caleb Williams. Like in the Rams, it feels like they have been playing a lot recently.
Crossover with
because of that extra game. But typically, right, you're not going to see. I mean, Allen right now at 30 years old, like the next time he would go to Lambeau, he'll be 38. So you want to see Allen in Lambeau.
Yeah.
Like this is it.
Then the other one that I think
prime,
is interesting, I'll give you a couple more. The Seahawks play on 6 days of the week. That has happened before. The Chiefs did that a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. The Packers and Seahawks are both going to host 5 primetime games. That's only happened once before.
Yep.
But the other one that's interesting, file this away for your Week 7 power rankings, okay?
Okay.
The Ravens
Okay.
are the 3rd team since 1983. They opened their season with 7 straight games against teams that finished below 500 the year before.
Okay, so they have an easy schedule at the beginning.
Teams that finished below 500.
Yeah,
like
they go Indianapolis, which is amazing, right? That they ended up below 500.
Yep.
Then New Orleans,
which is not necessarily easy.
Dallas,
Not necessarily easy.
Tennessee, Atlanta,
Cleveland,
Cincinnati.
not necessarily easy.
It's not as easy as if I had not looked at the schedule without that stat, I might have thought like, oh, they're going to be 7-0 when they come to play the Bills, but they could lose 3 of those games.
They could.
Right?
The Saints are going to be everyone's sneaky. Maybe they could be a good team. I think the Bengals will be back to a degree, and the Cowboys.
I'm a little interested in Tennessee. Dable and Cam Ward.
Could they be live there?
But they could lose to Cincinnati, Dallas, and Indy easily.
Yeah.
Although Indy, I don't know, is Daniel Jones playing week 1?
And by the way,
that might be good for them that they're playing them right away.
After that 7-game stretch with teams under 500, here are the next 7 games.
Yep.
Bills, Jags, Chargers, Panthers, Texans, Bucks. 6, and then Steelers.
It's tough.
It is tough. So they do not escape with an easy schedule. They, of course, will play divisional opponents, the Ravens will, in their final 4 games.
Yeah, their 2 Pittsburgh games are in week 15 and 18.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah. I hate what the league does with the divisional games packed at the end when the divisions are mostly over. Jeremy and Joe back with your phone calls on, a couple things on a fun Friday, talking Alex Tuck, talking
who you
Sabres
want to win
offseason.
a second championship
That's right.
first.
We did talk about that. Nick Mendola coming up at 8 as well. I'd like to push back on something that's being said about talking awful lot. Does anybody really think the the Montreal series changed the Sabres' thoughts on this? Does anybody really think that? Oh, we're going to let him walk because he had a bad series against Montreal, which, I mean, you could even argue he maybe didn't have a bad series. He just didn't actually get the puck in the net.
Right. Like scoring chances, he was 3rd in the league in the second round or something.
Yeah.
Aren't
the Sabres going to look at that? If they're going to look at the goalie and say, well, the goalie played pretty well, it really wasn't his fault about one of these guys. Right. Wouldn't they have the same process about a forward where, all right, it didn't go in the net, but we don't think he played badly. Mm-hmm. He played fine against Boston, great against Boston.
Played really well against Boston.
So as much as that talking point is out there about fans maybe and the willingness to move on, I do not think that the Montreal series has changed the Sabres' course.
It might alleviate, though, a little bit of the pressure to do what you – if you wanted to take the route of, I think I can find the next Alex Tuch and only pay $5 to $8 million for it and get the same level of production, I'm going to do that again. I did it with Doan. I did it with Tuch. I did it with McLeod. I'm going to go do that again. If you wanted to do that, I think it's easier to do it after Tuch had 0 points in the Montreal series. Because what if the opposite had happened? What if Tuch had done what he did in the Boston series, which was you lead the forwards in ice time, you're being used more than anybody, and you're like a point-a-game guy in round 2. And, I mean, if they had won the series with him doing that, I think that would increase it even more. Like, there would have been pressure to sign him. I think the better he did and the further you went in the playoffs, I almost feel like him having a goose egg in a 7-game series gives Jarmo an opportunity to say, hey, the appetite to bring you back isn't maybe what it was expected to be, and now I'm going to use that as an excuse to say, like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do anyway. Like, I think there are other smarter, sharper moves that we can make to replace you rather than give you the $10 million a year or $11 million per year, whatever.
The latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now. Mm-hmm. And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuch's mouth. Mm-hmm. That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think
Sure.
I think I also understand the Sabres' perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, I mean, he's elevated, right? Like, from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like, he was a third-line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like, he was not a top-line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like, I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
The Western Conference Final in the NBA headed to Game 7 after the Spurs bested OKC 114-91 yesterday. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow night. The Sabres announced yesterday that they've signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level deal. And the Eastern Conference Final continues tonight in the NHL with Game 5. Carolina can slam the door on Montreal as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop is set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey through the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers said he feels 100% healthy and is practicing at full speed. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell, dealing with a knee injury, is working off to the side at OTAs. And Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated it will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, the Blue Jays beat the Orioles 2-1 yesterday. The Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. The Mets host the Marlins today at 7:10. And the Yankees play the A's tonight at 9:40. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
You can always have wingers that you can't move into center, but you can have centers that you can always move to the wing. And you look around the league, that like center depth. If you have center depth, you're in a real good place. There's a lot of teams that are screaming, boy, we need a third-line centerman. We need a second-line centerman. We could take a Kulik. You could move him to the wing. Tomer could easily go back to the wing. You could take Helenius, and he could go to the right side. He doesn't necessarily have to play in the middle. Taking a center and pushing him outside is a great problem to have, and I think anytime you can have the depth we have, it's a great problem to have.
Lindy Ruff, an actual good problem to have where it really is a good problem to have, right? Sometimes you feel like you say that and it's not.
How opposite from the last time Lindy was here.
When they didn't have any centers?
They needed
It
centers.
was Cody Hodgson and
Hash had to come out of retirement and play center, which he wasn't even a natural center.
I don't remember that.
That was maybe his last year here.
Okay.
He was supposed to be done, and then they didn't have a center. Actually, you know why? I think it was because they thought Grigorenko was going to be it, and he was 18, and he wasn't up to it, and we're stuck. Call Jokin. Like, they were desperate, and now they have 10 centers.
Yeah. You know, it's, as he lays that out, so yesterday, good morning, Jeremy and Joe, we talked a little about Alex Tuck today. You know, we're weaving through some stuff on a Friday, and I wanted to bring up something from yesterday because I got a good amount of response to this on Twitter. When I listed the Sabres, the 5 pieces I think are most likely to be moved, just an opinion, really. Mm-hmm. And I put a name in there that maybe he's not top 5 likely to be moved, but I've just got my eye on him. And, you know, Lindy there, let's do a little eye of the beholder. What he says there is, of course, we've got great center depth. We don't have to get rid of it. We can move guys to the wing, and that's great.
Yeah.
Helenius, Osland. But I brought up McLeod yesterday, but doesn't what Lindy said right there kind of back up the idea that McLeod could get moved? Again, the main reason I bring up his name is because I don't have any buts with him. Mm-hmm. You want to move Norris? Great. What's the GM going to say? Like, yeah, but the availability, right?
Right.
You want to move, pick another player you'd think about moving here.
You want one of the young guys?
Kulik. You want to move Kulik? Yeah, but he missed a lot of time last year. I don't know what I've got in that player right now. I'm going to want to see him. Osland and Helenius, I feel like the Sabres will not be eager to move at all.
They're cheap.
And
cheap labor.
Right. And not that they are eager to move McLeod, but as he says there, a lot of teams would really love a second or third line center.
Yeah.
I bet they would. And do you have an extra one? Instead of just moving him to the wing,
right?
Or moving one of those other guys to the wing, are you better served to take advantage of a team that says, like, let me see, Young, he's been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
You did the thing where you elevated his role and he produced for you. He's under contract. He's cheap. That's a good piece.
Right.
If you're talking about trying to upgrade this roster in any spot and sending players out, here you go. Who's the best player you would send out and think you're going to get better coming back? Who's the best player? Would you go above McLeod? Maybe you would if you're thinking like Osland or Helenius has a higher ceiling, of course. Who's not Yarmo? Who's the best player you would send out reasonably? Like, don't tell me Tage for McDavid, right?
Right, that's what I mean. Like,
who's the best player you would send out and you think you're going to get somebody coming back that's better?
That's realistic, yeah. Well, I mean, any trade they make, that's the expectation, isn't it? Like, if they trade Helenius or Osland, it's because they're getting an 80-point player? Or if they trade Norris, isn't it because it's some part of a bigger deal that he's almost a favor in? Like, right, like if I went to the extreme, it'd be same thing with Thompson. Why am I trading Thompson? Is it because I'm getting Brady Tkachuk? Like, why am I doing it?
Right. Any player like so in
reality, it'll almost be anybody. But like
you're trying to forecast two things here.
Yeah.
What caliber of player do you think they're really going to go get?
Right.
If it's Brady Tkachuk, okay, then you're probably shooting high up your lineup.
Yeah. The team I keep thinking about for them is Minnesota. They are so desperate for center. Like, just using McLeod. McLeod had more points last year than any Minnesota center. I don't know if you want him to be your number one center, but he also might be better than all of their centers. So, like, there are going to be teams out there that are desperate for it, kind of like what Lindy just said. Like, there are desperate teams out there for that specific position. And I think where McLeod or any of these guys would be a great idea is your surplus isn't even just like 5. It's not, we have 5. We only need 4. Well, we can afford to trade one of them. It's, you have so many of them. I mean, we are talking 8, 9 guys that reasonably can play down the middle where you can fill a lineup and feel like, all right, yeah, Krebs has got to be a center for me, or Osland or Helenius or Tage has to go to the middle because Norris is hurt. Like, they just have so many that you take McLeod off the team, they still have a surplus of centers.
Right.
So it almost would, when you lay it out that way, when I lay it out that way, it almost makes me think like they're going to trade one of them. What are the odds every guy that can play center for them is just on the team again next year? Because how would you fill a lineup opening night? And how would that be beneficial to you when I could have taken the value that those guys have playing down the middle that I don't need as much, and I can swap it and make myself better in another area.
Right,
I'm basically capitalizing on another team's need that I just don't have. I'm hoping to get a more talented player or a better fit for me because I'm not going to have a need for center I'm the Sabres.
Can I give you a name here? Like, I mean, this is a shooting high. What about Jason Robertson?
In Dallas.
Yeah.
A lot of reports about him.
All right, on the wing. And here's the point.
They need center.
Going back to what Lindy said right there. Hey, we've got a lot of guys that can play on the wing. Instead of that, which, listen, like you laid out, you got a lot of options. You say, let's take one of those guys and send them off, maybe 2 of those guys and send them off, and we'll get a guy that isn't in the he can play on the wing, but instead is a mercenary on the wing and will be one of our best players.
Right.
And is that, he's an RFA, like he needs a contract, Robertson does. He's 26.
Right.
Is that simultaneously your Tuck replacement?
Yeah, basically.
That's the guy that's going to score 30 goals and play on the wing, and I went and got that guy because I traded away some centers with team.
Right.
If teams need this position as much as any, and I've got extras,
right?
So many extras that I could actually trade 1 or 2 and still have extras. I feel like that's the old flip your depth conversation.
Right, like I don't think this would be Robertson, but if they're going to be so good down the middle that McLeod's a winger, he'd be fine as a winger, I think. But can you trade him for a guy who's better on the wing? If he's going to be playing on the wing, or if you could see that coming? Like, the league sees more value in center because they should. It's how it works. You kind of have to be good down the middle, typically, to be a contender. So if the league holds more value in the center, you're just hoping, I think, I can trade a center for a player that is better than that center, but he's a winger. And that could be anybody. And Robertson would fit that description. I think there are a lot of guys that would fit that description. Just give me a better player. He's just playing a less important position by a little bit, which would be the wing. And that's my trade. That could be your big trade of the offseason. That could be a hockey trade even. But I think you'd want it to be a bigger deal, right? Like, if I'm trading McLeod, I think I want to be doing like McLeod and a first and Mertka, and I'm getting like a star back.
Yeah. That's what I mean, because operating from a fantasy football standpoint, which is the only way I ever know about actually making trades, so apologies for these comparisons, but he's the guy on your roster that somebody calls about, and you're not eager to move, but you say like, let's talk about this. You could envision somebody calling. McLeod has 3 years left at $5 million. And again, like all these positives are things that the Sabres could just say like, no, we're not going to. That's a good idea to have this guy as our third line center for $5 million, and maybe one of the young guys goes instead if it can fetch you more. So I really think they're in like a really good position of strength to try to do something. And, we brought up Jeff Merrick said he doesn't think Yarmo's going to color around the edges, think he's going to swing big this offseason. Mm-hmm. I'm just keeping McLeod there because that, to me, looks like a very tradable piece that has value on the contract, value as a player, value at the position. And if it was to happen as a piece that went out, you'd be like, well, all right. I mean, I get it.
I would get it, and I would want them to look at a trade like that. The one pushback you would probably get on that, which I'm not afraid of, is how much do you want to rely upon the kids? How much do you want to put upon Helenius and Oslin to say, that third-line center spot, we're just going to trust a couple of teenagers. They're going to have it fine. Like, they kind of showed that they were mature enough to do it in the postseason, which is why I think you should have some confidence that they could do it. And then there's Norris with his injury history, right? Like, all right, like, what do I really want to be? How much do I want to rely upon Norris to be on the lineup? And where do I want Tage to play? Because if you see Tage as a winger going forward, maybe you wouldn't say, yeah, we trade McLeod, then we're really relying upon two rookies. I don't think Oslin will be a rookie next year, but I got two young guys that are going to have to play great roles. Not just, this is a bonus, this is nice if they come in and they play really well. Like, no, they have to be able to do it. You could get there. Because otherwise, I don't want Krebs playing in my top six, right, as a center, even though he can play center. I don't want Carrick doing it. As much as I have depth, like that would be the only pushback, I think, is if I get into a spot where Norris is injured, do I really feel like I've got two kids that can do it? The reason why I would get to trading McLeod is I think the answer to that question is yes. I think you do. I think it's hard to imagine after what they did in the playoffs, what Oslin did over the course of the regular season, that those two guys are not up to it. It really feels like they are, and that you can put a lot on their plates, and they'll live up to it. They're not going to be number one centers anyways, right?
Those are almost impossible to get, yeah.
Right, like Oslin played 14 minutes a night last season. Can he get to 16 and have good results? Like, it feels like that's something you should bet yes on. Can Helenius play the whole season? Can he be the 14-minute-a-night guy that Oslin was last year? He just scored a goal with Barkov yesterday. I know it's the World Championships, but
it's also,
come on, he seems up to it.
The goal he scored is now the Helenius goal. He scores all of his goals like that.
2-on-1s.
2-on-1s, hammering a one-timer.
Right.
Which, he finds himself in that position an awful lot. I've seen that kid play 100 minutes of hockey and get 10 2-on-1s.
Right. It's and he either scored or almost scored.
Yeah, hits the post or is an incredible save.
Yeah,
Barkov set him up the way that Zucker set him up a couple times in Montreal. All right, I guess that's going to be his goal now. And
did not mention Kulik once, by the way, really in that conversation. Like he's just a bonus. Like it's possible he shows up and could enter into the equation. I don't even really need him though to get to. I could trade McLeod and still feel okay. The only thing you just have to again get on board with is, do you feel like I'm going to have a number one center between Norris and Tage? Either Norris is going to be healthy or Tage is going to be playing center again. And like that, Lindy did say yesterday that he thinks Tage in his heart of hearts prefers center. And if that's true, then you're really in a surplus down the middle. So that's a question too. Like what do they see him being? Because if listen, you got Tage wants to play center, and Norris and McLeod are on the team, like, all your young guys are wingers then.
Yeah.
All those center young guys are playing Kulik, Helenius, Oslin. They're all playing on the wing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure you want that, right? I don't think you do.
I don't know which one, though, really. It depends. Like, have we seen enough of them to know? Like, Oslin seems to play great everywhere. Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't know about Helenius. Like, he I thought, slowed down in his call-up in February. It was only a few games, but like games 3 through 6, before he got sent down, he kind of started disappearing a little bit. That was playing on the wing. The playoffs where he rose up, he was playing down the middle. So I don't know that we saw enough games, but I'd want to know, like maybe Lindy would have it in his head already, like which one of these guys do I really want to make sure is down the middle because they play better there.
You want to get a little stupid here?
Sure.
All right.
Is it a little?
It's not a full. Let's get stupid.
It's a little stupid.
It's not. It's right. It's not
we
a full.
We don't have imaging for that.
No. Right.
A little stupid.
Let's get a little stupid.
Let's get a little stupid. Yeah.
Report from Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic. Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid.
This is a great start for a let's get stupid.
Right.
Okay.
It's not stupid. Are most likely staying put for another season.
One more season.
At least another season. But he added, Pierre LeBrun, neither can commit 100% to that. So
To just for this season.
yeah. So the question I was just going to bring up is simply, and this is the only way you could ask Yarmo this would be, how much do you plan for 1 year versus 2 years out? If McDavid or Matthews was to be available, not this coming season, but next offseason, just to be had, should the Sabres operate from a position of, let's make sure we have room in the event that is a possibility?
And then we could sign both.
I wasn't thinking about both.
Super team. You want to save room to make sure you can offer McDavid $20 million a year in a year?
All I'm asking is that, right? Like, is the cap's going up? We know that. Would Yarmo look at the landscape and think, this year's free agent class is not very good at all? We know that.
Yeah.
We could sign the cream of the crop, Alex Tuck. Or if we don't, one of the things that would leave us the possibility to do would be next year's free agent class, which could be the all-time free agent class.
Let me put it this way. What's the most amount of salary you could really see them spending for going into next year? For going into the offseason we're talking about. What are they going to give Byram? Just rough estimates. 9?
I saw one.
They signed everybody they can sign this offseason. How much money is that?
That's, well, for everybody?
$9 million for Byram.
Yes.
7 for Benson.
7 for Benson.
7.5.
Let's estimate higher on all these, just for the sake of the argument. 8.
8 for Benson.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at 17.
Yeah.
You want to go 10 for Tuck?
Sure.
$27 million. Is there anybody else?
Krebs.
Krebs.
You want to give him 3? Let's go to 30.
Sure, 3. Malenstein, 2.
Okay, 32. Done?
Yeah.
All right, $32 million. You want to know how much room that leaves them for the following year?
Yeah.
$21 million.
Okay, so you don't have to think about it then.
Well, I mean, you've got other guys to pay. You got the Lions up. You've got. Well, I'm just saying, like you got fringe roster guys that you're going to save a little bit of room for. You probably could figure that out, but. Right, that is paying everybody you could possibly pay.
Okay, so,
and you would have enough room to give McDavid. I think the max is $20 million.
It's 20% of the cap, so
he could get like
$30
million.
Yeah, it might be.
Okay, so we might need more.
It might be close to 23 or something like that. Maybe
we might have to take Krebs off of that list.
Oh no,
but I was going to say, like you say that, and I immediately am thinking like. Is there a team more well prepared to do something like that? Like, in terms of youth that's on good contracts that you think could realistically play big roles, that you don't need to add salary to your team to improve. Like, I don't know. It seems like the kind of thing that they would be capable of doing if.
But if the cap is going up this much, and like you made the point, the Sabres would spend all this money. By the way, if the Sabres did that, would they be under the cap this year?
No, they have to get like Greenway or Zucker off, at least, or McLeod.
So if you're at,
but Greenway and Zucker are only.
But if you are
years.
basically at the salary cap this year, the bump next year is how many million overall?
It goes up from 104 to 113.5.
Okay, so every single team gets $9 million more in room. Like there are going to be, I guess this is Matthews and McDavid. They're going to just wait and get like $30 million a year.
You want me to give you that? Like going into next year, the Sabres have $53 million before they've done anything.
Yeah.
Is there a team in the league
with less than 30?
Actually, okay, so here you go. Going into the not this coming season, but the following year when McDavid would hit free agency.
And Matthews, right? Both?
The Oilers have the fewest cap space in the league with $30 million.
Okay, so everybody can afford him.
So everybody, some teams more than others, but everybody would be able to do it. And as I think we just kind of laid out, like even if the Sabres signed everybody they could this summer and figured out how to do it for this year, they would still have the capability of offering him the max
contract
or about the max. It's 23.
Both. By the way, quick correction. Both Matthews and McDavid have 2 years left. I was doing I forgot what year it was. 26.
Yeah.
So like next year would be they're going to get traded because these teams would not want to lose them for nothing.
But I think your long-term planning should have a page dedicated to we
A whale?
need to have a meeting ready to go and a plan presented to this guy. That it's when LeBron became a free agent
And Tony Soprano was on the Jumbotron.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they had that video and everything. Like, we need to have a meeting ready. Now, we're not going to count on getting him, but if that dude is going to be on the market in any form, we need to be ready for it.
Yeah, they need like a McDavid lever that like lowers all the
Yes.
curtains and like there's a projector. Like, all right, here we go. DEFCON 1.
And that also, I guess, would apply to Matthews. I mean, not obviously on the same level because McDavid's the best player in the world. I don't think it's even close. He is every single year. Matthews just had a down year. But he's also an elite number one center.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'd want to do the same thing. Like, if there's even an idea or through back channeling the league, agents, like you feel like, okay, it's really possible that in the next 12 months this dude's available, you want to have a page dedicated to that. Like, what is our offer? What is our package for that guy? And what's our selling point to him? Because these guys, I'm assuming, have no movement clauses and they're going to get to pick where they want to go.
Right. Yeah, this is all like dreaming on some level. The reason I brought it up was just LeBron and the timelines that they'll probably stick where they are, but neither can commit past just this year.
Well, I mean, and part of that for McDavid is like, how much is McDavid thinking about what Hellebuck said in Winnipeg? Like, all that's left for me to do is win the Stanley Cup.
Oh,
That's 100% of everything.
He's been to Game 7. Like, he's been a lot closer than Hellebuck.
But he's kind of talked like he doesn't love the way Edmonton has done some things.
No, that's right. That's
and
right.
even this last off,
He
this
says the
season-
organization has taken steps back.
Right. Like, as much as where they've been, he might not feel like they're going in the right direction. He also would know, like, he's faced Florida twice, and he's seen them at their height. Like, he's going to know what it takes to beat that team. And maybe he feels like I maxed out in those two series, and I won the Conn Smythe in one of them, and we still weren't able to beat that team over there. And that's obviously going to be number one on his priority list. As much as you're going to need $23 million to offer him the max, I think, he's going to be looking around and saying, all right, where am I going to win a cup? Because I am not going through my career as one of the greatest players of all time and not winning a Stanley Cup. Like, if I'm him, I'm not having that happen. So, like, that's where, like, I'm sure in a year, like, Toronto will want to talk to Connor McDavid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if Toronto fans will want to think about that. And if I'm McDavid right now, I'm looking at you and I'm saying, I'm trying to win a cup. You're going in the wrong direction. I want to be going to a team that's going in the right direction. And that could be the Sabres.
Could be a lot of teams.
Could be the Lightning.
Right. 803-0550, our number. 1-888-550-2550. Yesterday, the stunning news, the death of Claude Lemieux.
Yeah.
And I remember him, of course, like everybody else. Like, he was a clutch goal scorer in the playoffs, but he was the central figure in the rivalry between the Red Wings and the Avalanche.
Right.
What was that series called? The ESPN documentary on that?
Oh, it was a 30 for 30, wasn't it?
Yes. It was incredible.
It was great.
It was absolutely incredible.
And so much of it was about the brawl.
Lemieux and Draper. Yeah. And the retribution.
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled,
It was
yeah.
so good.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's really good. That's kind of, not really watching him play. Like, he interestingly, the last year he played in the NHL? He debuted in 1983. You want to know when the last season he played was?
2003.
2009. At 43 years old. He played
Yeah.
18 games for the Sharks.
And probably scored a bunch of goals, right?
Yeah, he did not score.
Okay.
He being kind of done by the time a kid, really, and he's like on the fringes of the league. I know him for two things, really. And I think, like you just mentioned the clutch playoff goal scoring, like that's kind of like, oh yeah, like that was a part of his career.
He scored a lot.
Because what I think of is the brawl against the Red Wings, where he hits Draper from behind, and Rob Ray with his shirt off,
right,
punching him. Like, in my head, he's kind of a cheap shot artist. And I know that was a part of it, but it's not. He is in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's not in the Hall of Fame. But,
no, he was a great player, though.
But great player, 4-time Cup winner, Conn Smythe winner. I almost feel bad that, like, in my head, he's a cheap shot artist. It's like he's Matt Cook when he was a guy who scored 40 goals in the league.
Is he Marchand?
Right, but
scored a lot of goals
and
and played on the edge and was dirty.
That's probably a way better comparison.
But, like, he was always, I thought, like, viewed as the prototypical playoff player.
Yeah. But, he was really dirty, wasn't he?
The hit on Draper's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Hit his face into the dashboard.
Yeah, 4 cups. I mean, in the cup victories, 86, 10 goals in 20 games. 95, 13 goals in 20 games. 96, only 5 in that one. He had 13 the following year. I mean, and again, he won the Conn Smythe once, so. Yeah, sad. I mean, he did the torch thing for game 3 of the conference finals.
Yeah. Yeah, early in Montreal, his career, a lot of playoff games in Montreal, a lot of playoff games in New Jersey.
Did you hate him during his career?
Not totally. No, not totally.
What was your team in the 90s?
I watched a lot of the New Jersey Devils.
Okay. Oh, so he was on the team that you were...
that team that won the cup. I mean, I watched the Devils...
Not like diehard, like hardcore.
No, not diehard, not diehard. But I like my family lived in New Jersey. Again, I grew up in Auburn, New York, where the Sabres kind of didn't reach us for whatever reason. So I was just like,
whoever was on TV.
You know what? You know who my first favorite hockey team was? Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah, the 93-94.
How are you pulling those games in?
They were on ESPN.
In the early 90s?
Yeah, the NHL playoffs were definitely on ESPN.
Okay.
And my first favorite team was the Pavel Bure Vancouver Canucks.
Okay.
From the video game NHLPA 93, because Bure was, of course, unbelievably fast. And, I'm your typical 13, 14-year-old that plays so much video game hockey that I could tell you the entire rosters of every team in the league. And I played with Vancouver, and Vancouver was my favorite team. And that year they made the Cup final, and they lost to the Rangers.
Right.
And I was aboard that whole ride with the Canucks. I had a Canucks.
Wow, I didn't know this.
I had a Canucks jersey.
The 94 Canucks.
The 94 Canucks were my first favorite team. Yeah. I mean, I didn't grow up a Sabres fan, but
Bure scored 60 goals that year.
He was incredible.
Yeah.
And the cover of the Sports Illustrated that year, why the NHL's hot and the NBA is not. And it was a shot of like Richter making a sprawling save against Bure on a breakaway. Mm-hmm. The Canucks were down 3-1 in that series and won games 5 and 6 to force a game 7 in New York.
Oh, I'm sure Rangers fans thought for sure they were.
It was tense. It was tense.
Is that when Messi had guaranteed the win though, or was that?
That was the conference final.
It was the conference final.
You guaranteed they would beat the Devils.
Is that the Mateau game?
Yes.
Okay.
We will win.
Vancouver.
They
were on late, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Your kids stayed up till 10 o'clock watching the Canucks?
Me? Yeah. Huh. Well, I mean, no. I guess, yeah. I guess so.
Earlier in that?
Yeah, I had a TV in my room, and then if you get up the next morning and watch Sports Center. But that series, I think the Canucks were the 7 seed in the West. They were definitely on a run. And Bure and Trevor Linden, this is where I try to name all the players.
I'm looking at that roster right now. There was an 06 Hurricane on that team. Don't love that.
06 Hurricane that's on that team.
Yeah.
Not Jyrki Lume, not Kirk McLean, who was in goal.
No.
Trevor Linden.
I should have checked.
Jeff Courtnall. Jeff Courtnall was on that team.
Okay, that's not the guy I had. This is kind of cheating anyway. He only played 8 games for that team.
Who was it?
Brett Hedican.
Okay.
And a Sabres captain was on that team, playing only 4 games, though.
Who?
Pekka.
Oh, okay.
Pekka's on the 94 Canucks?
94 Canucks.
He's probably a black ace in the playoffs, though.
Loved that team. Bure was just, incredible.
Bure scored 16 goals in 24 playoff games, so he scored 76 total.
Yep.
Who doesn't love a fast Russian when they're growing up as a kid in hockey?
Right?
Easy to root for. Easy to love. To watch.
803-0550, 1-888-550-2550 to join us. Jeremy and Joe on WGR. On that front, like Bills or Sabres, who is closer? This conversation can be had for the first time
ever.
They
haven't been good at the same time.
The 93, 99.
We could have asked the question in like 2016 when neither team was very good.
Fair. Who's closer?
Right.
Do you want to say who's closer to a title, or there's another way to ask this that I thought might bring the results closer together. Who is closer to having the claim of being the best team in the sport? Because there's winning the thing, and then there's, I think that's the best team in hockey or the best team in football, right? Jordan Phillips, when he re-signed with the Bills, this is the best team in football. Best quarterback, best receiver, best this and that. And for the Sabres, we watched them go 7 games with Montreal, who's not looking like they stack up with Carolina. But who has a claim to be closer to the top the Bills or the Sabres?
I think for that best team, I think you have to say the Bills are. Just because of how many years in a row they've done it. And Allen. Like, I do not think the Sabres are going to really regress. I heard Lindy Ruff on Sabres Live yesterday. Like, one thing that I'm not worried about, but that I wouldn't want to see them do is decide after that playoff run that we weren't tough enough to play against, or we were too wide open, and we have to change what we do. And Lindy yesterday basically echoed what Jeff Merrick said to us last week. Like, Lindy basically said, like, teams that know who they are and just become elite at that are the best teams.
Yeah.
He was talking about Carolina, but he's, I'm sure, referring to his own team as well.
I read an article about Carolina that was about maybe Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic about how Carolina took a lesson from Florida.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the way the Sabres play, too. How did Florida play? Relentless on you in your own zone. How does Carolina play? Same way. How do the Sabres play? When they're at their best, I mean, that's one of the things they are doing is they're smothering you in your own zone. Of course, they're defensemen and, the high cycle and stuff like that, but
yeah, so I really want to couch it by saying, like, I do not think the Sabres are going to regress in a big way. Like, could they go down from 109 points to 101 points? Like, of course, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Bills are really, to some degree, regression proof as long as Allen is their quarterback. Like, there is a security with him under center that makes me think you are automatically one of the best teams in the league every year, even if you did everything wrong around that guy.
The latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now. Mm-hmm. And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuck's mouth. Mm-hmm. That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think I also understand the Sabres' perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, I mean, he's elevated, right? Like, from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like, he was a third-line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like, he was not a top-line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and, like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season, that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like, I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
The Western Conference Final in the NBA headed to Game 7 after the Spurs bested OKC 114-91 last night. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow. The Sabres, they announced yesterday that they have signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level deal. And the Eastern Conference Final continues tonight in the NHL with Game 5 between Carolina and Montreal. Carolina can slam the door as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey throughout the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers said he feels 100% healthy and is practicing at full speed. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated it will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, the Blue Jays beat the Orioles 2-1. The Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. And tonight, the Mets host the Marlins at 7:10, and the Yankees play the A's at 9:40. Those are your Paddock Chevrolet sports headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Lynch connects with Lemieux and back onto Forsberg. Trickles one across to Kaminsky. Kaminsky turning behind. Wrapped up by Spalevin, escapes. Pass in front. Score! Claude Lemieux at 2:44 of the first period. And it's 1-0 in favor of Colorado.
And 1-0.
Claude Lemieux dies at the age of 60. Doc Emmerich on that call? Way back when? Sounds like a Doc Emmerich, a young Doc
That was
Emmerich.
the Fox Glow Puck, too. I've never seen that.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The
You'd
Fox
never seen it
Glow
before?
Puck, the glow
No.
puck. Yeah, that was a thing.
It was it wasn't as much the glowing puck through the boards that I didn't love as much as wasn't there like a trail behind
When
slap
it went
shots?
over 80 miles per hour, there was a fire trail behind it.
Yeah, that that to me was a bit much.
Okay, I'll say this: better than rules analysts.
You would trade
100%. Immediately.
All right, I don't even
Give me the glow puck right now to never hear from a rules analyst again on a broadcast. Sign me up.
Would you rather have a U.S. World Cup win or no rules analyst in sports ever again?
Rules analysts. None. Wow. I'd rather get them out forever. Yeah. Get them off my television.
How about the Bills making the Super Bowl next year?
I'll take that.
Over the rules analyst? I'm not telling you they're going to win.
Oh, yeah, of course. 100% take it.
Okay.
Who are they going to lose to? The Rams?
Sure.
Seahawks?
Sure.
Good morning, everybody. Jeremy and Joe, happy Friday. You made it to another Friday. Welcome to weekend. Who's up for a Joey Bosa update? Anybody want a Joey Bosa update?
Isn't his brother trying to get the Niners to sign him?
Maybe, but
I saw him say something about that.
Yeah. Well, I've got quotes from Nick Bosa.
Okay.
On Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
Nick said yesterday, I think he's working on his golf game right now. I don't think he's thinking too much about football. He was asked if he had any notion about Joey's future plans, such as signing with the Niners or retiring, aside from seemingly shutting down ideas the Bosas could play together for the first time since they played at St. Thomas Aquinas in Florida. The comment suggests Big Bro Joey could be contemplating retirement. This is from Grant Gordon at NFL.com. Which, if Bosa retires, I want that list of Bills defenders that played last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Elias Sports Bureau would put this together for me or not, but I would wonder if the Bills' defense could possibly have the most snaps to retirement in a one-year offseason in NFL history.
Right.
Poyer?
Yeah.
What's Trey White doing? Might he play again? Maybe. Like, I'm not ruling anybody. Jordan Phillips?
Yeah.
Joey Bosa? Well,
Milano probably will continue playing.
Okay,
right?
these guys got to eventually find some spot.
Vanessa, well, he's young enough. He should play.
Vanessa, I don't think, is retiring. He's been trying to find a team. But Bosa to retirement, maybe. Working on his golf game.
Yeah, the number of snaps by these guys, too. It's like Bosa, it was 562 snaps.
It's like 2,000 snaps that are just not anywhere now.
Yeah, Phillips was over 200 last year, which is amazing. Shabachek Thompson at 417 snaps.
He'll play
last year.
again.
He'll play again.
He's going to play somewhere.
Sure?
Yeah, he'll play.
All right. Trey White was 700 snaps last year.
I think he'll play again.
But even again, like these guys are all unsigned and like your fringes of the league. Are any of them starters? How about that? Anybody?
No.
It's why it's just like it was so weird to me that was the time that McDermott got canned. Because I think you could always defend, like, time had passed. It was enough. Let's go. But he had a middle-of-the-road defense that made some late-game stops in the playoffs with those guys on the field that the league is telling you, like, they can't play football. They're not starters for us. We're not valuing them, that we're going to give them anything. And it's now almost June, and half the Bills' starting defense, a third of the Bills' starting defense from last year, the league is just like, yeah, no thanks. We're good.
Yeah.
I mean, what were they supposed to talented last year? Remember, like, what was the Pagula being pressed? Like, how talented they were. Look at the guys they had playing on defense.
Well, it's one of the reasons.
They might be talented now, but
for me, the biggest potential for the defense bebeing better, I guess, like,
is the talent going up?
Well, here's the question: like, is it because it's a new scheme, or is it because they have guys that are younger? Like, they're going
to be a lot younger.
You'd think they'll have fresh bodies as opposed to trying to get blood from a stone one more time.
Right, like who's replacing all of those guys? Trey White, an older corner, who I think played fine last year. Who's playing all those snaps? It's either going to be Max Harrison or it's going to be a second-round rookie.
Or
right?
D. Alford in the slot. Like,
it could be that. Right, Taron Johnson, by the way.
Taron Johnson.
He is on a team.
He is.
Alford's younger than him, so you get it there. Milano out, and Dorian Williams in, or the fourth-round rookie. So you're getting way younger there. The defensive end position, I guess that one maybe not, right? Bosa out, Bradley Chubb in. Like, I expect to get better there, but I'm not getting a lot younger. But whatever. Jordan Phillips out, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders filling in those snaps, maybe Dwayne Carter. Like, yeah, their average age per snap or whatever, like, you could probably find that. Like, it should be way more youthful, and I would hope more athletic because of that. Faster.
Let's hope. Right. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. Do you want, let me make sure I can find it here. Do you want a little bit of instant trivia?
Sure.
Okay. We'll make this into a trivia question.
All right.
This will be fun. Over-unders on touchdown passes this year.
Okay.
Josh Allen comes in tied with three others for 8th, 9th, 10th. I don't know if that counts as tied for 8th.
Tied for
10th, whatever. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry, 9. Tied for 9th. 8 quarterbacks who have a passing touchdown over/under higher than Josh. Okay. Can you give me the 8 quarterbacks?
Okay.
As a team, you can work together here. 8 quarterbacks have a passing touchdown over/under. The number comes in above Josh Allen's. Over/under on passing touchdowns.
I wonder how much of that is he steals from himself with the...
It's part of it. Right?
Yes.
That's a part of it.
With the tush-push touchdowns. Okay.
Not just tush-push, but, like, he just runs it in. They're at the 5. He runs it in all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
He had 15 last year? Or 14?
Yeah. Right, where Stafford, like, throws a little fade ball to Devontae. It's like, oh.
Right.
All right.
Touchdown.
We can say Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford.
Stafford is number 2 at 30.5 on the over/under.
I immediately, like, that's where I wanted to start. Like, guys that throw the ball a ton and also don't run them in. Yeah. So Burrow.
Number 1, 32.5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Burrow, Stafford, yep.
Trevor Lawrence.
Correct by 1. 25.
I thought that was a risky one, but I'm glad I went there.
You got 3.
I got
Drake
one
May
that
up there.
I was going to say Drake May.
26.5.
Don't think
Drake May's over/under is above Allen's for passing touchdown props.
How about Justin Herbert?
Tied with Allen.
Okay.
Not above.
Okay.
Will Mahomes be on this list because of the injury?
Mahomes is not listed.
Okay. Sam Darnold.
Oh.
No.
I was going to be upset if that was above Allen.
I mean,
hasn't he had more than Allen?
Yeah, it's been consistent. That's
in his
true.
last 2 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure he has. Okay, not him.
If not, it's close.
What about...
I think there are 3 that you should get and one that you might get.
Okay. How about
Baker?
Correct.
Good.
That's the one you might get.
Baker had the most touchdowns in the league over a 2-year period before last year. I don't know where he's now.
Yep. Baker's ahead.
Lamar
Nope.
doesn't pass enough.
Tied with Josh.
That's the run.
Oh,
thing.
Dak.
Dak Prescott, correct.
Thank you.
Great. That's good.
There are 6 quarterbacks tied with Allen's number.
Okay.
So there are 8 above him and 6 tied with him. You've got Burrow, Stafford, Dak, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield. You're missing 2 more.
Brock Purdy.
Correct. 27.5.
Yep. And
How many of those will be to Mike Evans?
10. They have a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
They do.
Although I saw Kittle say recently he doesn't. No, he didn't say he doesn't think. He said he wasn't sure about making it back for week 1. So he might miss Achilles injury. He might miss the beginning of the year. Caleb Williams.
No, tied with Josh.
Jordan Love.
No, tied with Josh.
Wow.
I feel like there's somebody
You are going to
Goff.
see him, yes, early this year.
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
Thank
Those are your 8.
Because you know he won't run any.
Burrow, Stafford, Goff, Purdy, Prescott, May, Lawrence, Mayfield. Their over-under on touchdown passes is above Josh.
Who's the lowest listed? Do you have that?
The lowest? Yes. Do you want to guess who that is? This is a fun one. It's a little cheat. It's a little
Is
bit
it a
of
guy that I'm not sure is going to start the whole year?
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Fernando.
It's him.
Yes. 12.5.
12 and a
12.5.
half.
Do you want the
Wow, I think I want to be on the over
Do
there.
you want the lowest number of a projected starter?
Malik Willis?
15.5.
Yeah, because he's not going to. He's going to run a lot, and their offense is going to
Listen,
stink, right?
do we want to bet the house on Tyler Shuck getting above 18.5?
Oh. He played
might
well
throw-
last
He
year.
played
And
well.
just to Olave.
He played well, and his weapons are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Like that.
Who's starting over? Oh, Kirk Cousins is there.
Yeah, Kirk.
Okay. Yeah.
over Mendoza, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Kirky boy.
That's right.
Go Chains.
Where was Kyler Murray on that list?
Kyler Murray is not listed.
Really?
Oh, wow. I'd be curious
Not
where
listed.
he'd be.
Jaden Daniels didn't come up.
No. All right.
I think I like the Jordan Love number there more than anything. I think that dude's gonna have one of these just insane statistical seasons at some point soon. Like all his advanced numbers are so good.
Daniels?
Jordan
Love?
Jordan Love. And he had 23 touchdowns last year. Take a look at that number.
803-0550 is the phone number. Tonight, Carolina can move into the Cup final. Great. Hooray. We'll find something else to do. When we get back at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, we're going to talk with Nick Mendola, a little World Cup preview. He's going to be covering the World Cup. We're a couple weeks away from the start. We got the U.S. roster named. Talk a little bit about like expectations, what's a good tournament, and storylines, as well as a preview of tomorrow's Champions League final, which is one of the biggest sports events on earth. It's all coming up here on WGR. I'd like to push back on something that's being said about talking an awful lot. Does anybody really think the Boston series, the Montreal series, changed the Sabres' thoughts on this? Does anybody really think that? Oh, we're going to let him walk because he had a bad series against Montreal, which, I mean, you could even argue he maybe didn't have a bad series. He just didn't actually get the puck in the net.
Right. Like scoring chances, he was third in the league in the second round or something.
Yeah.
the
Aren't the Sabres
round.
going to look at that? If they're going to look at the goalie and say, well, the goalie played pretty well, it really wasn't his fault about one of these guys. Right. Wouldn't they have the same process about a forward where, all right, it didn't go in the net, but we don't think he played badly. Mm-hmm. He played fine against Boston, great against Boston.
Played really well against Boston.
So as much as that talking point is out there about fans maybe and the willingness to move on, I do not think that the Montreal series has changed the Sabres' course.
It might alleviate, though, a little bit of the pressure to do what you if you wanted to take the route of, I think I can find the next Alex Tuch and only pay $5 to $8 million for it and get the same level of production. I'm going to do that again. I did it with Doan. I did it with Tuch. I did it with McLeod. I'm going to go do that again. If you wanted to do that, I think it's easier to do it after Tuch had 0 points in the Montreal series. Because what if the opposite had happened? What if Tuch had done what he did in the Boston series, which was you lead the forwards in ice time, you're being used more than anybody, and you're like a point-a-game guy in round 2. And I mean, if they had won the series with him doing that, I think that would increase it even more. Like, there would have been pressure to sign him. I think the better he did and the further you went in the playoffs, I almost feel like him having a goose egg in a 7-game series gives Jarmo an opportunity to say, hey, the appetite to bring you back isn't maybe what it was expected to be, and now I'm going to use that as an excuse to say, like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do anyway. Like, I think there are other smarter, sharper moves that we can make to replace you rather than give you the $10 million a year or $11 million per year, whatever.
Forecast for the weekend.
Oh, it's going to be great. 60s and sunny, right?
It's amazing. I was thinking about it yesterday when it gets nice outside. Like,
and we're in
you
that.
get porches and backyards and be outside like for hours and hours and hours.
And this really is the best because, like, early summer like this, I don't even think it's technically summer yet, but it basically is. You don't have humidity yet.
After Memorial Day, kind of is.
Yeah.
Like June, July, August. Isn't that summer?
Yeah, but this is better.
Meteorological summer.
This is better, though, because it's not humid.
That's right. It's cool in the morning.
When's it get humid? In a month?
It's incredible early morning golfing weather. Just the best. I got to take a full week off just to play golf every day. I'll just call in at 6 a.m. Be like, hey, guys.
From the course?
From the
Can
course.
we just do the show from the course?
Walk and talk.
Yeah. Strap some mics to us.
I mean, listen, it's not a terrible idea.
Background noise.
All we need is all of you out there to tell our bosses that you would love to hear that.
I think the budget in fines for when I curse at myself after hitting a bad shot, though, is going to need to be there.
Yeah,
we're going to need a pool of money for that.
Yeah. All right. Nick Mendola on the other side. Talk a little World Cup preview, Champions League final preview. Maybe you'll look back at the Premier League season. I know Joe would love to do that.
I don't want to do that.
But World Cup preview. Nick Mendola's going to be covering it. He's going to the World Cup final. I think he's going to the first game as well. So he'll be all over the place. And, it's going to be a big event coming up in a couple weeks. Nick's up next. The latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now. And I'll read you this this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuch's mouth. That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think.
Sure,
I think I also understand the Sabres' perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really. I mean, he's elevated, right? Like from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like he was a third line guy that. He had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like he was not a top-line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
I don't know if the Elias Sports Bureau would put this together for me or not, but I would wonder if the Bills' defense could possibly have the most snaps to retirement in a one-year offseason in NFL history.
Right.
Poyer?
Yeah.
What's Trey White doing? Might he play again? Maybe. Like, I'm not ruling anybody. Jordan Phillips?
Yeah.
Joey Bosa?
Milano probably will continue playing.
Okay,
right?
these guys got to eventually find some spot.
Vanessa, well, he's young enough. He should play.
Vanessa, I don't think, is retiring. He's been trying to find a team. But Bosa to retirement, maybe. Working on his golf game.
Yeah, the number of snaps by these guys, too. It's like Bosa, it was 562 snaps.
It's like 2,000 snaps that are just not anywhere now.
Yeah, Phillips was over 200 last year, which is amazing. Shabachek Thompson at 417 snaps.
He'll play
last year.
again.
He'll play again.
He's going to play somewhere.
Sure?
Yeah, he'll play.
All right. Trey White was 700 snaps last year.
I think he'll play again.
But again, like these guys are all unsigned in like your fringes of the league. Are any of them starters? How about that? Anybody?
No.
It's why it's just like it was so weird to me that was the time that McDermott got canned. Because I think you could always defend, like, time had passed. It was enough. Let's go. But he had a middle-of-the-road defense that made some late-game stops in the playoffs with those guys on the field that the league is telling you, like.
NBA headed to Game 7 after the Spurs bested OKC 114-91 last night. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow. The Sabres announced yesterday they've signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level deal. And the Eastern Conference Final continues tonight in the NHL with Game 5. Carolina can slam the door on Montreal as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop is set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey, quote, through the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell, dealing with the knee injury, is working off to the side at OTAs. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers said he feels 100% healthy and is practicing at full speed. And Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated it will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, the Blue Jays beat the Orioles 2-1 yesterday. The Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. And tonight, the Mets host the Marlins at 7:10, and the Yankees play the A's at 9:40. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Jeremy and Joe, this is the World Cup theme, apparently, from Shakira. I've seen the U.S. theme versus like other countries' themes, and let's just say ours leaves something to be desired. Nick Mendola of NBC Sports Soccer joining us just a moment here.
I'm pretty sure Shakira's had like a World Cup theme. Has she had like a World Cup theme at every World Cup?
I don't know.
The 2010 World Cup. Okay, that was the one I was thinking of. All right.
Maybe. Quick note. At Salem Field on Sunday, the Bisons, Max Scherzer making another rehab start.
Yes.
3-time Cy Younger will be pitching on Sunday at Salem Field. So that's cool. You know, baseball season. Good stuff. It's going to be beautiful for the next 10 days, so it's pretty great.
There are 9 World Cup themes for this World Cup, apparently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's one that's a cookie cutter.
A part of it is a couple of them are in Spanish because Mexico is one of the host countries as well. And okay,
there's a couple of team themes that are cookie cutter, the same kind of like beat, and they just name all the players, and they have a lot of energy, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to bring in Nick Mendola of NBC Sports Soccer to talk with us about the World Cup, which he will be covering. Friend of the show, alum of the show on the Western Hotline. Nick, good morning.
An alum, I love that.
You are. You're an alum.
I was there for maybe 6 years, which is just a little longer than it took me to finish college. So, you know.
Well, Nick, here we are. We're, 2 weeks out from the start of the World Cup. You and I talked yesterday, and you were just letting me know, you're going to be covering this. And not just watching and writing it, but, going to games and you're tapped to go to the final.
Yeah, I'm laughing because it's true and it's insane. I grew up, it's funny. The good joke going around soccer right now is that Shakira has been at more World Cups than Italy over the last 4. I grew up. It's brutal. I grew up watching Italy before the U.S. And that was my gateway to soccer, which I didn't really like playing growing up. The U.S. made me fall in love with the game, but at no point in my life, including I've been at NBC for 10 years. Full-time, 10 years full-time, and up until even though I knew the World Cup was in the U.S., up until about 3 months ago, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever go to the World Cup. And, the games being in Toronto help. So I'll be going to Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina and Germany versus Ivory Coast at a minimum. But, the final is I don't think I could possibly be mentally prepared. I now understand that whole thing about, hey, what's it like to be in your first Super Bowl? Right? Once the game starts, I'm going to know what to do, but everything around it, I might be spelling things with extra Q's or something. So, super excited, guys, and how cool for it to be in the U.S., even if it's a little messy.
Yeah,
Messy.
It's July. The finals, July 19th. It's at MetLife Stadium, right? That's where that's going to be.
Yep.
So you say it's a little bit of a mess, Nick. Give us a little bit of the sense of that, because I feel like until the tournament starts, it's about the mess, the
tickets,
the transportation, the cities, and once the games start, this to me seems to be a little bit of the World Cup cycle. Wasn't Qatar a mess, and Brazil had its problems, and then the games start, and we're just on to soccer. Not to say the problems aren't real problems, But what have been the problems, the messes so far for this one?
Yeah, so I mean, you just made me feel a little bit better because we don't have, migrant workers dying. Qatar was terrible for that.
Right.
What's a mess for me? This is more of a shame thing. This is more of it's in the United States. It's going to be amazing. Like going is going to be amazing, but the prices are insane. And you have people like great example. I'll use myself as an example. My son is 15 years old. He loves soccer. And even if I wanted to go to, this is not a game, but Qatar versus Curacao, that's the same as a family trip to like Europe or something. It's just so much money. And FIFA certainly knows that the U.S. is a rich country. They know it's accessible, and they knew that people from all over the world, perhaps more so than usual, were going to be able to make it to the United States for this tournament or target or say, this is our bucket list item. And, it's just, it costs too much. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You have to put aside for a second, which is very difficult to do. Obviously, the Iran war has caused a lot of problems. They've moved their training base from the United States to Mexico, but they're still playing all their games in the U.S. But if you put that aside, it's strictly about we're American. Since I was, Jeremy, you and I, we're a little bit older than Joe. Since we were kids, American soccer's the next big thing, right? And for it to come to our country for the second time and to be the most expensive World Cup of all time, it doesn't feel great as an American soccer fan. When the game starts, it's going to be amazing. It's just, it's hard. If there's an average fan thinking, I'll go check out the World Cup, sticker shock is an understatement.
Yeah, and there's an investigation into them now, right, by New York and New Jersey about it, and I don't know that anything will come from that. I guess I'm wondering, is it bad enough that there will be empty seats in stadiums, or do you feel like they'll make sure that if there are a lot of tickets available anywhere, then maybe we'll see this drop like right before? Like, I guess that's where it would become like truly embarrassing, Nick, is not just how much you're charging, but if that causes empty seats in these stadiums to, like, you mentioned some of the teams, like you don't have high profile teams playing. I looked at one in Philadelphia that was like Uzbekistan, maybe like two countries that would never be competitive, like to win the whole thing, and it costs like $600 to go to the game.
Yeah, look, that's kind of the scary part, right? You have to imagine they'll want to fill that in, but that's where the shock is, because we think about the World Cup coming up. One of the World Cups coming up starts in Uruguay, Paraguay, and then it's the 100th anniversary. The rest of the tournament's in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. Jeremy and I can share this. Portugal might be my favorite place I've ever been. So the idea of going back to Portugal and then dropping down to Morocco and getting to Africa for the first time, like that's a dream to me. So people target this as their entire, like, this is what I'm going to do. So I wonder if it isn't going to be a situation where people are just going to end up paying because they've already booked their flights to Toronto or Boston, where England is going, right? Like England, Scotland, Ireland. Now, for those extra games, it's kind of scary, but you've still got people, like, honestly, if I wasn't covering these games, so I had a little bit more freedom to get about the country, so to speak, I think Asher and I, my son, we would be finding the cheapest possible game in the world. And if that happened to be $500, you still say you're going to the World Cup because it's a bucket list thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I certainly worry about it. I have to think that the cities themselves, with the amount that, U.S. soccer is putting into it, will make sure those stadiums are full.
So from the mess potentially to the U.S. and the games,
yes,
the team, the coach, Pochettino, there's a report that he's lining up his next job. But whatever, like that can be a sidebar here, Nick. How have things gone for Mauricio Pochettino, who is a big name? The U.S. got a big name to be their coach for this World Cup, and I think people were very optimistic about it once they got him. He's pretty accomplished. How has it gone, and how does that look with that little side story out there as well?
So let's start with the side story, because I think it's a quick answer. He was contracted through this. He was never going to do the job for 20 years. Coaches doing 2 World Cup cycles is unusual. So to do one and be done, I think it's often expected. It's just not usually announced beforehand. But we knew that. And Pochettino would not have taken this job. He's still an excellent club coach. He's lined up potentially to go to AC Milan. He would not have taken this job had they said, well, listen, we're going to want you to build. No, he's here because Greg Berhalter went. His second stint ended early. There was about, 2 years before the World Cup, and it was like, hey, do you want to coach a World Cup in a host city? in a host country, excuse me, a rich host country that can pay you an awful lot of money. And he said yes. I think after a short run-up that was a little dicey at times because it was his first time coaching international soccer, that it could hardly have gone much better. They had a run at the end of 2025 where they were beating teams they're literally going to play in the World Cup. They were beating other World Cup teams, including Uruguay and Paraguay. Uruguay is, talent-wise and experience-wise, I would say significantly better than the U.S. And I know the game was on U.S. soil, and it was a friendly, but the U.S. won. He is a brilliant coach. He has led Southampton to punch way above their weight. He's led Tottenham Hotspur to punch way above their weight. Chelsea was disappointing, but Chelsea has been disappointing for 5-6 years. They're an absolute crime scene. I had to make sure my son wasn't in the house because he supports Chelsea, but absolute mess. This is a very good coach, and as I'm sure we're going to talk about, the most talented roster in the history of the United States. Now, it's still the World Cup. I think we hear this is the best team ever. They think, are we going to win the World Cup? So not quite that discussion, but in terms of raising men's soccer, U.S. men's soccer to the next step, to the next pedestal in the United States, it's a real opportunity.
They're currently ranked 16th, the U.S. is in the FIFA World Rankings. What's the high watermark for the U.S. at any point?
Well, they were higher because FIFA's ranking was algorithmically it targets your own domestic competitions as more important, as well as the World Cup and Euro. So the U.S. had 3 or 4 years where they were beating Mexico and they were cruising, and then they beat Spain in the Confederations Cup. So the high watermark is around 2009. I don't remember what the number was, but it was top 10. That said, this is real. Like, I do genuinely think the U.S. are a top 20, top 25 program in the world right now. And there are very few teams that would boat race them. They can hang with people. And that's why what's hanging over this team is that term golden generation. There's the HBO documentary. You guys have probably even said it. That's how much it's gotten around. This team has holes, but the places where they are strong are the places where you can win against anybody.
Right. How much have they lived up to golden generation to this point? Like, you mentioned them against Uruguay, but what kind of form do you feel like they've been in, not even just recently, but in the last couple of years leading up to this tournament? Like, do you feel like they're playing at a form right now where they could live up to golden generation?
Well, let's see those first 2 friendlies, right? I mean, that's kind of the tricky part about this. Are they in a form right now? It's difficult to say. First of all, their best player, Christian Pulisic's in a bit of a goal drought with AC Milan. But AC Milan is different than the U.S., where the entire attack is going to be built around where he's best and where he's most comfortable. And he's a player who I think, even though he's a little bit, I don't want to use the word whiny, but think of a more respectful word than that. I guess I did use it. But he's a super competitor who will try to put the team on his back, and he's a decent person to have the wheel, but he is out of form. That said, Tyler Adams, their central midfielder who does everything for them, just led Bournemouth to the Europa League. They were into the Champions League the final day, but they dropped into the Europa League. He plays every minute for them. Anthony Robinson at Fulham in the Premier League, left back, finally healthy, plays every minute for them when available. Chris Richards won the Conference League with Crystal Palace just this week. Form of his life, absolutely massive center back. It probably has the chance to be known the way that we saw Alexi Lalas get known in 1996, whatever it was, not just because of the hair either, an excellent player. The questions are in goal. They don't have a Tim Howard for the first time in a while. And the questions are who is going to finish those chances. But Fuller and Balogun, he's an Arsenal product. He scored, I think, the 3rd most goals in the Champions League this year with Monaco. Granted, that's not, Monaco in League One is not like, the measuring stick for is this guy an elite scorer, but they have every chance to do it. So I think if you're looking at this and thinking, not will they win, will they be the favorites, but do they have their best chance ever, especially on home soil? World Cups have given everybody but Qatar a chance to perform. South Korea, I think, made the quarterfinals when it was at home, and that was a shock of all shocks, even though some people think it was rigged. So yeah, I know it's a huge question. I took a long time to answer it, but it's because it's variables, and the variables are all heart. because talent-wise, the U.S. should be able to hang with anybody.
Nick, the friendlies you mentioned, so before the tournament starts, they have a pair of games. They play Senegal Sunday and Germany next Saturday, the friendly warm-ups. And then we get to the group stage, which is Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. What is a good outcome? I mean, I feel like it goes without saying, like making the knockout stage, coming out of your group. But, you know, we could say a lot of things, but we do this with the Bills or the Sabres, like Super Bowl or bust, right? And win the division. What is a positive outcome for the U.S. that's not winning the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, win a knockout round game, I think, is other people can place it maybe a little further, but, you know, I think it's a round of 32 this year. Win that round of 32 game. They have won knockout round games. They beat Mexico in a round of 16 games, which might be the most memorable game for me in my life. That might be what have taken my fandom right to the next level, is beating your rival at the World Cup. They are going to, I don't think they tell you they're going to lose to Senegal and Germany, but there's a good chance they do. And because the World Cup's in the U.S., their last two friendlies were against Portugal and Belgium, top 10 teams in the world. I don't know if Belgium still is, but Portugal certainly is. And this is something where you're probably going to feel a little down if you're a U.S. fan. But you have beaten Paraguay on U.S. soil 2-1, granted with a red card, in November. You beat Australia in the U.S. in October. Like, this is not a long time ago. You have shown that you've done that. So what I want to do is arrive at that third game against Turkey, the toughest game in the group, and I want to be through. I want to win in a draw. And then if you win the group, you've got an easier path. And maybe you're talking about the goalpost move and you should win 2 games. But if you win your group, and granted, a really good team can finish second in their group, and then all of a sudden your round of 32 game is tough. But guys, yeah, making a run here is, if you were to tell me, hey, Nick, the cards are going to fall the right way and the U.S. made the semifinal and had a look at the final, it's not insane. It's not even... It does feel insane just to say the word final, and that's why I'll keep insanity for that level. But like, you can win your group, and because it's a 48-team group, maybe you're in the spot where you're playing, and I'm talking about this for any team, not just the U.S., a third-place team from their group. And maybe that's the team that's lucky to get through because the team below them went 0-3 in the group, and they only had 1 win. So winning a round, getting the luck of the draw, and being the favorite for 2 rounds, especially on home soil where one of the big running commentaries, which I think is kind of ridiculous, but not super ridiculous, in England, they're like, well, listen, the temperatures in the United States are going to be insane. Jeremy, you're an Arsenal fan. And Joe, Liverpool. Sorry, but Arsenal won, so congratulations. The last week of the Premier League season, it was 82 degrees in England, and they had water breaks halfway through the half. Yeah. So that's not an insult. That's hot. Athletes could use a break, but 95 degrees in Houston is different.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't this also way cooler than Qatar was last? I mean, they played in the winter last time, so I guess they did affect it that way.
They moved it for that, but it was still hot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. Yeah. I don't remember it. It's a haze.
How well are they set up for the group? Like, did this end up being a good draw for them at the end of the day? Like, is this an easy group comparative to the other ones?
Yeah, I mean, if you were frozen envelope, FIFA is really close with the president, and his son loves soccer, so they tried to get the U.S. a really good group camp. And if that ever was exposed, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. Like, it's not to say that Paraguay isn't good. They're fine. They're good. They're Miguel Almiron. They have some really talented players, and Australia on their day can be very, very good. But you're going to get one team from Europe in your group. You got a Turkey team, or Turkey team, I should say, that you played in a friendly last summer. They beat you 2-1, and they deserved the win. But you've got game tape of your best against their best, right? Like, that's great, and that's the toughest team you're going to play. You're going to get a team, an unranked team, because the U.S. were ranked. You were going to get a team from Europe, and you got one that you can hang with. You got a team from you didn't end up getting a team from Africa. The team you got from South America is maybe the 6th best team from South America. And you could have had a group, guys, with 2 European teams, and you only got 1. So, like, if the U.S. were to not advance from this, it would be embarrassing.
Nick Mendola, NBC Soccer, joining us on the Worcester Hotline. How about the rest of the story about the Cup? Like France, Spain, Argentina, top 3 teams in the world, they've all won a Cup. England, it's been forever. Portugal has not. is there an emotional, like, I don't know, Nick, how many U.S. fans do this, where it's like, I like the U.S., but I'm going to also pick another team that I'd like to see get through once the U.S. is out of it.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, like last World Cup, Argentina was the story for Messi and how they got that done. Who is it this time?
I mean, it is probably, not to take the easy way out, Ronaldo. It should be his last World Cup. Portugal are amazing. They have almost been serial underachievers in the World Cup, and notably to Ronaldo's chagrin, when they won the European Championship, he got hurt in the first half and was like on the sideline as they got their crowning achievement. So I think that's the easy answer. But yeah, England is a huge one here. They have the talent to win the World Cup. And my boss, Joe Prince Wright, who I know you guys have had on before, he's in England. And when you bring up that to him, even when we're broadcasting, he will publicly say, no, we don't talk about winning. No. England will never win. I'm like, no, you're one of the favorites, man. You got Harry Kane, one of the very best strikers. We might be at the point of saying one of the very best strikers to ever play the game. Like, he's been that good. So England's another story. I think because the game is on U.S. soil and because it's going to be so hot, that South American and African teams, along with the North American teams, think this could be them. And an African team potentially making a run to a semifinal or a final is on the cards. And then, of course, you have Argentina. You have Mexico, who will be playing their games at altitude, right? So not only are you going to another hemisphere of the European teams, you're going to basically play, I believe the elevation is not significantly, but enough higher from Denver.
I think it's 8,000 feet. If it's Mexico City, it's 8,000 feet.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's 1.5 miles high. Am I doing that right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's just so much going on here. Erling Haaland in Norway, Spain and France as the fun teams. Japan is another potential dark horse. I think tournament-wise, this should be pound for pound as fun as you're going to have.
Is there anybody that's typically a world power in this sport that's down this go around? Like someone that, if you're a casual observer, is this Germany maybe or somebody else? Like you expect them to be a favorite every time, and maybe they're not as good as they normally are?
I think Germany are still good, but the problem is, I said this. I did sales podcast yesterday, and I thought of this, and I love this comparison. I can't think of the NFL team for it, and you guys can't think of it, but Germany are the awesome defense, good running attack, and they have a 7 out of 10 at quarterback. Like, he's fine. He's not going to – like, this is not a Germany where they had Miroslav Klose for all those years, and he's going to score a load of goals. Thomas Mueller isn't there, but, like, they are solid. And so the question is, in soccer, which is really difficult, right? Lionel Messi's a 10 out of 10. You can win any game with him. The day that you don't finish your chances, are you good enough to win? So that Germany's in that situation. Is anybody else? I would say the Netherlands are kind of in the same situation where they have a bunch of 8 out of 10s. Like, no one's lower than an 8 out of 10, but where's the 9 and where's the 10 at the moment? Besides maybe Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool just tried to kill the whole summer by not having winter by not having other center backs.
Yeah,
that happened. Yeah.
World Cup gets started in a couple weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday is the first match. It'll be June 11th. That's the very first match of the World Cup. Also, Nick, before we let you go, the Champions League final is tomorrow from Budapest. Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal. And Arsenal just won the Premier League. And there's they're underdogs. I think the concern is, are they going to be, too post-party mode, right? They are not exactly locked in. They just had this massive weight off their shoulders. So I guess it's one of two things. They have the weight off their shoulders. They can play free. Or they're going to be too happy to be there because they've been partying all week.
Wow, that is a really good question, but I do not think it'll be the partying that does them in, and I don't even think it'll necessarily be like, oh, PSG is too good, and they are very, very good. They won the tournament last year. However, I think the biggest question with Arsenal is, what is Mikel Arteta going to do? Because we saw once they took the handbrake off, if you will, once they knew that goal differential was going to be a thing,
they started
all
scoring.
Of a sudden, their best. Well, yeah. And why did they start scoring? Because Arteta played with Zubamendi and Rice, excellent defensive holding midfielders, defensive midfielders, box-to-box guys in front of a very good back four and a very good goalkeeper for much of the season. And then all of a sudden when he needed goals, he was like, look at all this attacking talent I have. And the question is, does he do that to match PSG and try and win 3-2? or does he revert to form and say, we've got incredible attacking players, we're going to counterattack, we'll sit in, we'll play defense, and we'll basically treat it like a penalty kill, right? And we'll get our 4 chances, and hopefully we cash in 2 and win 2-1. And I really think that'll be the difference in the game, because Arsenal are a fantastic group of talent. I told you guys this at the beginning of the year. I picked them to win the league. I did not realize Mikel Arteta was going to treat it like he was an underdog in half the games, but they got it done. So no judgment, but this is a team that can. If they wanted to play every game and win 5-2 in the Premier League to try and be that team, they could have. And they went pragmatic. Do they go pragmatic against PSG? And that might be the smart move, is the huge question here.
Yeah. I mean, when they played Bayern Munich earlier in the year, they they blew them out, and Bayern's the team that lost by 1 goal to PSG in the semis. So they could play the 5-4 game, maybe, we'll see, but they will be, of course, under.
They are, and they're good enough to do it. If I knew they were going to do that, I might have a different prediction for the game. But I just think Arteta, who also used to play at PSG for a cup of coffee, he may go in there to Hungary, home of the Ikashes. That's my mother's side of the family. So I'm Italian-Hungarian. We just to throw that out there. I think they're going to go into a great atmosphere at Puskas Arena, and I think it's going to be a little cautious. And I think PSG has no reason to be cautious. I think they're going to fire out of the gates, and Arsenal have the defense to hold them off. And they get through that moment. If it's 0-0 or they're up 1-0 in the 30th minute, then I might tell you I would predict Arsenal to hold out, because, man, Gabriel and William Saliba, there might not be a better center back pairing in the world.
One other thing, for NFL fans here who maybe don't watch the Champions League, this is a model that I feel like the NFL has chased international play to try and climb up the largest viewing audiences in the world. The Champions League final outdraws the Super Bowl every year. Super Bowl's 9th overall. I'm seeing the Cricket World Cup, the World Cup of Rugby is above this. I don't want to count the Olympics because those are 2 weeks long, but in terms of individual final events, this is one of the few that is above the Super Bowl, and is probably one of the reasons that the NFL plays 10 international games a year, as so they can climb this ranking.
Right, and here's the thing. In time, I don't even know that the U.S. I don't know that Roger Goodell wants, other leagues, even if he owned them. What he wants is more international players, because in the Champions League final, it's a little bit like the Stanley Cup, where all of Canada will watch, even if there are American teams in there, times a million.
Yeah. Because
the rosters of these teams, Odegaard's from Norway, Gyökeres is from Sweden. Desiree Doué is French, but go through the rosters. You have nations turning in to see their favorite son play, right? Yeah. And they flipped it on its heels. So when the World Cup final happens, let's say it's Argentina versus England. Oh, sure, of course, I'm watching these 2 teams if I'm from Argentina, and I'm watching because it's the World Cup final. But also these players play for Arsenal and Barcelona and PSG. So that's what, and again, there is the general interest of the sport. But I think that might be what Roger Goodell is chasing, is that idea that I have a dog in the fight.
Yeah. Nick Mendola, NBC Sports Soccer. He's agreed to come on day after U.S. games. We'll break down U.S. games throughout the tournament, so we will be...
you'll be up late then.
Yeah.
We didn't get 10 o'clock on a Thursday is one of their World Cup games? Really?
Yeah, but the good news is the bars will be open, guys.
We'll be there.
That won't help you either. Yeah.
We'll be ready. All right, Nick, we'll talk in the coming weeks, and look forward to a great World Cup.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you.
And also, by the way, what's going on with FC Buffalo these days? Because I know you're obviously heavily involved there, and you're occasionally sending me mock-ups of uniforms and stuff. I get to be a consultant. So what's the latest there?
No. Oh, the latest is greatest. The men are looking great. They just won 2 games in 3 days. We never scheduled 2 games in 3 days, and they went out and won it just because we had a scheduling nightmare. They're in first place in their division. The women have had a slow start results-wise, but just had one of those games where you hate yourself for 75 minutes because you're down 2-0. And then you score, and literally last kick of the game, Lindsay Leonard makes a penalty kick, and we draw 2-2. So very excited. June 3rd, I believe, is our next away game, and then we got some doubleheaders coming up, and they're right around the World Cup, so you can catch soccer fever and all that at fcbuffalo.org.
I see the 2026 schedule is up and season tickets available as well. So, fcbuffalo.org to catch soccer fever and get some games locally. Nick, thank you, sir.
Sir.
All right,
Anytime, my friends.
We'll talk in the coming weeks. I kept the Arsenal talk to a minimum. How about that? You got to be, you got to appreciate that.
I mean, at this point, I have no reason to root against them.
Right, fair. World Cup 2 weeks from yesterday. So the first U.S. game is it 2 weeks from today?
I think the first U.S. game would be 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, June 12th. All right, let's do it. It's exciting. Sports in the mid-afternoon. That's what I'm about. 3 o'clock games.
Yeah, 3 o'clock. Mexico, South Africa is the first game.
Yeah, there are like midnight games. Australia and Turkey play at midnight. So you everywhere from I'm seeing the earliest game is going to be a 1 o'clock kick.
Okay,
and the latest is midnight.
There's a couple noons. Wait, no, that is midnight. That's midnight.
Right, that's midnight.
Yeah, 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they starting? Oh, Santa Clara, Levi Stadium. So, all right.
Really late.
803-0550 to join us on anything you got here on WGR. I don't know if the Elias Sports Bureau would put this together for me or not, but I would wonder if the Bills' defense could possibly have the most snaps to retirement in a 1-year offseason in NFL history.
Right.
Poyer?
Yeah.
What's Trey White doing? Might he play again? Maybe. Like, I'm not ruling anybody. Jordan Phillips?
Yeah.
Joey Bosa?
Milano probably will continue playing.
Okay,
right?
these guys got to eventually find some spot.
Ebenesa, well, he's young enough. He should play.
Ebenesa, I don't think, is retiring. He's been trying to find a team. But Bosa to retirement, maybe. Working on his golf game.
Yeah, the number of snaps by these guys, too. It's like Bosa, it was 562 snaps.
It's like 2,000 snaps that are just not anywhere now.
Yeah, Phillips was over 200 last year, which is amazing. Shabachek Thompson at 417 snaps.
He'll play
last year.
again.
He'll play again.
He's going to play somewhere.
Sure?
Yeah, he'll play.
All right. Trey White was 700 snaps last year.
I think he'll play again.
But again, like these guys are all unsigned and like your fringes of the league. Are any of them starters? How about that? Anybody?
No.
It's why it's just like it was so weird to me that was the time that McDermott got canned. Because I think you could always defend, like, time had passed. It was enough. Let's go. But he had a middle-of-the-road defense that made some late-game stops in the playoffs with those guys on the field that the league is telling you, like, they can't play football. They're not starters for us. We're not valuing them, that we're going to give them anything. And it's now almost June, and half the Bills' starting defense, a third of the Bills' starting defense from last year, the league is just like, yeah, no thanks. We're good.
Yeah. I'd like to push back on something that's being said about talking awful lot. Does anybody really think the the Montreal series changed the Sabres' thoughts on this? Does anybody really think that, we're going to let him walk because he had a bad series against Montreal, which, I mean, you could even argue he maybe didn't have a bad series. He just didn't actually get the puck in the net.
Right. Like scoring chances, he was third in the league in the second round or something.
Yeah.
Aren't
the Sabres going to look at that? If they're going to look at the goalie and say, well, the goalie played pretty well, it really wasn't his fault about one of these guys. Right. Wouldn't they have the same process about a forward where, all right, he didn't go in the net, but we don't think he played badly. Mm-hmm. He played fine against Boston, great against Boston.
Played really well against Boston.
So as much as that talking point is out there about fans maybe and the willingness to move on, I do not think that the Montreal series has changed the Sabres' course.
It might alleviate, though, a little bit of the pressure to do what you – if you wanted to take the route of, I think I can find the next Alex Tuch and only pay $5 to $8 million for it and get the same level of production. I'm going to do that again. I did it with Doan. I did it with Tuch. I did it with McLeod. I'm going to go do that again. If you wanted to do that, I think it's easier to do it after Tuch had 0 points in the Montreal series. Because what if the opposite had happened? What if Tuch had done what he did in the Boston series, which was you lead the forwards in ice time, you're being used more than anybody, and you're like a point-a-game guy in round 2. And I mean, if they had won the series with him doing that, I think that would increase it even more. Like, there would have been pressure to sign him. I think the better he did and the further you went in the playoffs, I almost feel like him having a goose egg in a 7-game series gives Jarmo an opportunity to say, hey, the appetite to bring you back isn't maybe what it was expected to be, and now I'm going to use that as an excuse to say, like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do anyway. Like, I think there are other smarter, sharper moves that we can make to replace you rather than give you the $10 million a year or $11 million per year, whatever.
The Western Conference Final in the NBA headed to Game 7 after the Spurs bested OKC 114-91 last night. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow. The Sabres announced yesterday that they have signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level deal, and the Eastern Conference Final continues in the NHL tonight. Game 5, Carolina can slam the door on Montreal as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop is set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey through the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers said he feels 100% healthy and is practicing at full speed. And Texans wide receiver Tank Dell, dealing with a knee injury, is working off to the side at OTAs. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated they will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, the Blue Jays beat the Orioles 2-1 yesterday. The Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. And tonight, the Mets host the Marlins at 7:10, and the Yankees play the A's at 9:40. Join us in the fight against cancer by riding with the WGR Ride for Roswell team on Saturday, June 27th. When you sign up, you'll get a rider gift from WGR and Tom's Pro Bike on Walden Avenue in Lancaster. Plus, at the event, you can stop by our table and scan the QR code for a chance to win a $1,000 gift card to Tom's Pro Bike. Visit WGR550.com for all the details. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
As far as Rashee goes, we're aware of the situation. The league's aware of it. We've talked to the league. We get it. As far as any further ado to that, there's been no talk about anything further. We're moving forward just normal as we go here. When he gets back, we got to get him caught up and doing what he needs to do. But again, and then to make sure he gets it. It's not an easy thing he's going through. So life lessons are important, but we're all given chances to learn. And
you went on to say like he knows how to rehab while in jail.
Yeah, because he will be in jail for, I think it's at least 30 days, isn't it? And he'll miss time during the offseason because of that. Man, I mean, can you count on that guy at all if you're Kansas City going forward?
You can't.
I mean, there's the knee stuff on top of, I mean, you clearly cannot trust him off the field. Good player, but, I mean, can't trust him.
803-0550, Jeremy and Joe, good morning.
They don't have a lot of receivers outside of him, right? Because Worthy is not really hitting. And what else is it? Tyquan Thornton? Like, they're not really loaded. Unless they sign Diggs. Isn't he kind of Rice replacement level guy right now for what's available.
Maybe.
Because Rice is like slot.
Yep.
Which is kind of what Diggs is at this point. So it's an idea for them, I guess.
I got a hot take on the NBA draft lottery if you want it. The NBA draft lottery has been reformed.
All right.
And
go ahead.
It's getting, I think, mostly panned what the league decided to do.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to offer you you tell me how spicy this take is. So they voted on it and approved the new lottery odds in the NBA, which will make it so now there are 16 teams that can win the lottery. There used to be 14. They also made it much more likely. Here's one way to look at it. There's a 71% chance the number one pick goes to a team that finished between 6th and 12th. And a 29% chance it falls to a bottom 5 team.
Right.
Which is, again, nuts.
It's a little nuts.
Like the NBA has lost the plot here. Anti-tanking measures are fun and sexy, and you got your people out there that love to pound the table like, oh yeah, we try to win every game. But what, of course, was always the case is if you only had like 2 teams eligible to win the number one pick, you wouldn't have that much tanking. You'd have teams at the very bottom, once already bad, maybe making some decisions and some trades for the future. It also, this system, like, if you're just a regular bad team, it's harder to get good now, which all of American sports have forever been built on the simple concept of, like, if you're bad, we want to help you. It's in the league's best interest. The NFL knows this. The NHL knows this. It's in the league's best interest that we lift teams out of problem areas. We don't want that. Remember, it was earlier this season, where the story came out the NHL had a level of concern about Buffalo not getting out
very early this year. Yeah.
Like, man, they're still not getting out of it there. What's the problem? They've picked first a bunch. Anyway, here's my potentially spicy take on the NBA, where now there is no incentive to finish worst. You'd want to finish 4th worst or 10th worst.
Between 4th and 10th worst.
4th and 10th is the best.
Right.
So all these games will matter, and there's so much randomness. The highest odds you'd ever have of winning the lottery are 8%. You have removed any incentive to lose. You have done that. That's right. You've also, I think, damaged your league. The spicy take is this. What would it look like if your league was run by a gambling company? Wouldn't it look
what would it look like if a gambling company?
Wouldn't it look like this? We need every game to count. We need to have no vision of the future. Every game must be tonight. Every game is tonight. The second worst team is playing against the 4th worst team. I need nothing. I need that game to count tonight. These teams can't think of their future. They can't think of, well, we'll trade these pieces, and at the end of the day, at least we will have a pick in the top 2.
Yep.
If I needed every game to matter, this is what it would look like. And there's another thing in here built in with the NBA's new draft lottery. This is the league that has allowed you to trade picks in the future, like 7 years out.
Yeah.
What if I have somebody's next 3 first-round picks and all of a sudden, wait a minute, I was counting on them being bad. I bet they would be bad.
All right.
And now you changed my odds of getting their high pick?
Right.
Because I made the good bet and they made the bad trade? You wouldn't agree with this in your fantasy league. Hey, let's change how we're going to give out the first-round picks.
Whoa,
wait a minute.
Rioting.
Wait a minute. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I made my trades with this team that I think is going to be toast in 2 years.
I'd be trying to remove commissioners in my fantasy leagues if I had picks and they were doing this.
The league created a problem by introducing too many lottery teams, and they made it worse by introducing more lottery teams, and they made it hard for regular bad teams to get good again.
Right, because now
which
also
will hurt their bottom line, which will hurt fans.
Yeah.
It's a terrible change that they've made.
Because also what you're doing now is, if I have this right, no, maybe not. You are incentivizing teams to miss the playoffs rather than get in and get smoked by an elite team. That might not be right, though, because I'm looking at a graphic right now that says that the 10 seed has a 5.4% chance. Isn't that the team that loses in the play-in?
Yes.
So I guess you could make the play-in, lose in the play-in, and then you have a 5.4% chance of winning the. Isn't that insane though?
Yes.
You have the same odds as the worst team in the league if you make the play-in and lose.
Right. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
It's also overcomplicated, and there's rules about like you can't pick more than what is it? You can't pick more than twice.
It's just
you can't pick in the top 5, I believe, 2 out of 3 years.
Yeah. It's just such low-hanging fruit about, like, the boogeyman tanking, when the reality is these drafts where the worst teams pick the highest are the lifeblood of keeping your team healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps your team healthy. Anyway.
And again, like this year, I think their biggest problem in that league was the volume of teams that were tanking. It was like 8 to 10 teams that were tanking. But why
were there?
That is where, like, I saw a lot of people saying, like, NFL doesn't have the same problem that this league does. And yes, I mean, part of that I think is because of fewer games and teams are alive more into their season. But another part of it definitely is the lack of lottery. What that does do is it creates, okay, you might have tanking, but if you get it, it's only going to be 2 or 3 teams because they're the only ones that are going to be far enough down for it to really matter. Why would the 9th worst team in the NFL tank when they are probably, 3 to 5 games out of the first pick? But in the NBA, it's, all right, we're in 9th last. No, we can't be the worst, but if we drop 4 spots, we could gain 15 to 20% chance that, or it's probably not that much, but we're going to gain a chance that we're going to pick number 1. Where in the NFL, you know you're not picking number 1. And that hope of, we could get a Wembanyama would force more teams to tank. I think that actually has, the lottery in this league, I think, has created the problem.
Yes.
So it's like almost be willing to accept, we're going to have some tanking, but it's only going to be 1 or 2 teams, 3 teams. Rather than all this complicated lottery stuff that league does, creates it so that there are 10 teams instead of 3. And that's why you have your tanking problem.
All 16 spots are drawn. The worst team in the league could pick 16th.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And again, like,
I don't mind how hockey has it. Like, hockey has a lottery, but it's a little bit more simple. More simple.
One other change that's different in the NFL. Like, what's different in football? Think of the Dolphins this year. The Dolphins, will the Dolphins be one of the 5 worst teams in football?
Yes.
Probably.
I think they're probably gunning for the first pick.
They probably will be. Now, why are they doing that? Not because they're actively tanking, because they're starting over with a new coach, and they jettison some players like Jalen Waddle. They got extra picks.
Yeah.
They know will probably be 5-12.
At best.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the NBA's format, they're not even tanking. 5-12. They might pick 16th.
Right.
Why? We're trying to take our medicine. We're trying to be good long term.
Yeah.
We went to the playoffs a bunch of years, and now I'd like to just have a regular rebuild, and built into a healthy rebuild is we might pick 6th. We might pick 4th. Maybe we pick 1st. We're not going to try to lose, but in this new formula for the NBA, your healthy rebuild, it's just targeting a problem that's not really a problem and is so rarely a problem, but it's such a juicy headline. Anyway, I think the NBA is going the wrong way in a lot of decisions.
Their bigger problems flopping anyway.
They have flopping problems. They have the game requirement and load management and all these things. Like, the NBA's just made a lot of. They used to be, I feel like, this really progressive league, and now they've just gone, I don't know, way too far. 803-0550. There you go. And you get a tanking conversation in front of me. I'm going to take it.
The team, by the way, you should be worried about that this is going to help is the Thunder. You know how many picks they have going forward? 3 firsts this year, 3 firsts the next year, 2 firsts in 2029. They still have 1 million picks.
And if those
they're gonna
pick first, will they get a first round pick?
Like, they have Philly's first round pick. You're gonna get one of these years where the Sixers barely miss the playoffs, and because of the new format, win the lottery, and the Thunder get some generational, and everyone's gonna lose their minds 10 times more than they did yesterday.
Yep, it's terrible. Well, congratulations to them. 803-0550, 1-888-552-550 on WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garfel, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
give Belknap a ring.
On that front, like Bills or Sabres, who is closer? This conversation can be had for the first time
ever.
Ever?
They haven't been good at the same time.
The 93, 99?
We could have asked the question in like 2016 when neither team was very good.
Fair. Who's closer?
Right.
Do you want to say who's closer to a title, or there's another way to ask this that I thought might bring the results closer together. Who is closer to having the claim of being the best team in the sport? Because there's winning the thing, and then I think that's the best team in hockey or the best team in football, right? Jordan Phillips, when he re-signed with the Bills, this is the best team in football. Best quarterback, best receiver, best this and that. And for the Sabres, we watched them go 7 games with Montreal, who's not looking like they stack up with Carolina. But who has a claim to be closer to the top, the Bills or the Sabres?
I think for that best team, I think you have to say the Bills are. Just because of how many years in a row they've done it. And Allen. I do not think the Sabres are going to really regress. I heard Lindy Ruff on Sabres Live yesterday. One thing that I'm not worried about, but that I wouldn't want to see them do, is decide after that playoff run that we weren't tough enough to play against, or we were too wide open, and we have to change what we do. And Lindy yesterday basically echoed what Jeff Merrick said to us last week. Lindy basically said, teams that know who they are and just become elite at that are the best teams.
Yeah.
He was talking about Carolina. But he's, I'm sure, referring to his own team as well.
I read an article about Carolina that was about maybe Pierre LeBrun in The Athletic about how Carolina took a lesson from Florida.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the way the Sabres play, too. How did Florida play? Relentless on you in your own zone. How does Carolina play? Same way. How do the Sabres play? When they're at their best, I mean, that's one of the things they are doing, is they're smothering you in your own zone. Of course, they're defensemen and, the high cycle and stuff like that. But
yeah, so I really want to couch it by saying, I do not think the Sabres are going to regress in a big way. Could they go down from 109 points to 101 points? Of course, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Bills are really, to some degree, regression proof as long as Allen is their quarterback. There is a security with him under center that makes me think you are automatically one of the best teams in the league every year, even if you did everything wrong around that guy.
The latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuch's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think
Sure.
I think I also understand the Sabres perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, he's elevated, right? From what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. He was a third-line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. He was not a top-line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season, that had 3 30-goal seasons. I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. We ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
All right. So Game 7, Thunder and the Spurs. Sunday? I didn't see the date.
No,
on that.
tomorrow at 8.
Tomorrow at 8.
Tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Surprised they don't just wait till the Sunday NBA window. You know, they could have that if they wanted
Give
it.
me a Saturday Game 7. Love it.
Carolina-Montreal tonight, Game 5 in Carolina.
Yep. Got some World Championships probably today. Although Helen is the only Sabre playing.
Yeah.
So he'd be the only one to be looking for.
Jeremy and Joe, final hour coming up. A little free-for-all Friday feel to it. Beautiful out there. Hope you're, ready for a good weekend. Grill up some good food. Grill season.
Yesterday was National Hamburger Day.
Oh, I didn't have any. We made chicken and hot dogs. Like I was honoring hamburgers by not having any.
Wait for National Cheeseburger Day anyway.
There you go. You got a Twitter poll up about the Chiefs versus the Florida Panthers.
I do.
That's interesting. Back in a moment here on WGR. I'd like to push back on something that's being said about talking awful lot. Does anybody really think the Boston series, the Montreal series, changed the Sabres' thoughts on this? Does anybody really think that? Oh, we're going to let him walk because he had a bad series against Montreal, which, you could even argue he maybe didn't have a bad series. He just didn't actually get the puck in the net.
Right. Like scoring chances, he was third in the league in the second round or something.
Yeah.
Aren't
the Sabres going to look at that? If they're going to look at the goalie and say, well, the goalie played pretty well, it really wasn't his fault about one of these guys. Right. Wouldn't they have the same process about a forward where, all right, it didn't go in the net, but we don't think he played badly. Mm-hmm. He played fine against Boston, great against Boston.
Played really well against Boston.
So as much as that talking point is out there about fans maybe and the willingness to move on, I do not think that the Montreal series has changed the Sabres' course.
It might alleviate, though, a little bit of the pressure to do what you – if you wanted to take the route of, I think I can find the next Alex Tuch and only pay $5 to $8 million for it and get the same level of production, I'm going to do that again. I did it with Doan. I did it with Tuch. I did it with McLeod. I'm going to go do that again. If you wanted to do that, I think it's easier to do it after Tuch had 0 points in the Montreal series. Because what if the opposite had happened? What if Tuch had done what he did in the Boston series, which was you lead the forwards in ice time, you're being used more than anybody, and you're like a point-a-game guy in round 2. And, if they had won the series with him doing that, I think that would increase it even more. Like, there would have been pressure to sign him. I think the better he did and the further you went in the playoffs, I almost feel like him having a goose egg in a 7-game series gives Jarmo an opportunity to say, hey, the appetite to bring you back isn't maybe what it was expected to be, and now I'm going to use that as an excuse to say, like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do anyway. Like, I think there are other smarter, sharper moves that we can make to replace you rather than give you the $10 million a year or $11 million per year, whatever.
The Western Conference Final in the NBA headed to Game 7 after the Spurs bested OKC 114-91. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock tomorrow. The Sabres announced yesterday that they've signed forward Jake Richard to a 2-year entry-level deal. And the Eastern Conference Final continues tonight in the NHL with Game 5. Carolina can slam the door on Montreal as they lead the series 3-1. Puck drop set for 8 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, ESPN's Nick Wagner reports that the 49ers plan to be cautious with running back Christian McCaffrey through the rest of the offseason program and training camp. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers said he feels 100% healthy and is practicing at full speed. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell, who's been dealing with the knee injury, is working off to the side at OTAs. And Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said the NFL has not indicated it will suspend wide receiver Rashee Rice for violating his probation. In baseball, the Blue Jays beat the Orioles 2-1. Yesterday, the Red Sox fell to the Braves 10-2. And tonight, the Mets host the Marlins at 7:10, and the Yankees play the A's at 9:40. Catch every take, every reaction, and every big Buffalo sports moment live now on YouTube with Jeremy and Joe in the morning and Shope and the Bulldog every afternoon. Watch your favorite WGR hosts anytime, anywhere, live on air, live on YouTube. Brought to you by Belknap Heating and Cooling. For more comfort and less ka-ching, give Belknap a ring. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Winning covers all this stuff. Yeah. The deodorant that covers all stink is winning. And if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander goes back-to-back and he's on deck and he enters next season as a two-time champion and two-time MVP, guess what? There'll be kids out in the playground learning how to fly. Oh, no.
All right, I'm going to try an SGA conversation.
Before we do that,
yeah.
There's a Cold War going on at this show that you have not been aware of for a month now, at least. Maybe 3 months. I don't know.
Oh, no. What is it?
Susudio playing every day now.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know.
Every day.
Did you just decide? When did you reveal that you hated this song?
I told him a story about how I did this to Bulldog when I was a producer years ago, and he lost his mind because I wouldn't stop playing Susudio. And now Joe plays Susudio every day to bother me, which I guess is evening the score.
It's a full circle moment.
Every day before he does it.
It's a horrible song.
Every day before he does it, he looks at me and goes, I'm going to get him.
It's a horrible, horrible song.
So
and it gets
good.
stuck in your head.
Oh.
All right, anyways. SGA.
No, that's good.
SGA bothers me even more.
No. I like these like behind-the-scenes Cold War things. Like
it needed to be said out loud. So, because someone is out there listening, are they playing Susudio again?
It's kind of like that time.
It's like the 5th time this week.
What did you guys try to get me on? Like if I noticed something, I was wearing my shirt inside out for
multiple times. Oh, that was one of the greatest mornings in show history.
That was amazing.
I didn't
for
realize.
2 hours. Was it that long?
Yeah,
it was. Yes.
2 hours. Did the YouTube chat even pick up on it?
Chat picked up on it.
Yep, shirts inside out.
Yeah,
we were building it open, hoping you wouldn't notice, and then you noticed.
I noticed.
It was like the segment before we were going to play the open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had the video saved on my phone of me noticing it and making a face, and then looking at you two.
Right.
To see like if you picked up on the same thing.
I clipped that to send to you. We were going to play that on the street. Yeah.
I get dressed in the dark. Every morning I get dressed in the dark.
I get dressed. I have the flashlight on my phone, though.
Same.
So today I had to actually confirm. I'm wearing black shorts. I thought I was maybe wearing blue shorts, and I couldn't tell. So I had to take them into the bathroom to turn the light on to see which color they were, if they were the dark navy or they were the black shorts.
Yep, same.
Yeah, but I get dressed with my phone flashlight every morning.
Same.
I mean, shouldn't we just move our closets to other rooms?
I just transport the outfit to the bathroom, and that's where I get dressed.
Because if you're getting dressed in the dark every day, then I believe your clothes are in the wrong room.
It's a good point.
They should go somewhere else. I think
Logically,
I'm going to present this to my wife as something when I get home.
My closet light is out, so I can't even go in there and turn the light on. I've got a walk-in closet with a door. And
just the light bulb needs to be changed?
That's it. But it is one of those things where it happens and you think to yourself, I wonder when I will ultimately change this. Because I don't.
How long?
Dude.
What's the over-under on how long?
It's been at least a week.
Really?
I could just change that light bulb.
Wait, you could just do it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you got to think about a lot to do it, though. That's the thing. You got to muster up the courage to do it, for me at least. It would sit there.
Because what, the electricity?
It would sit there. No, just in general.
Courage.
I would sit there for probably like a week or two without doing it. And then it would get so annoying to me that I'd be like, oh, finally I have to do this.
I mean, I don't want to say that I'm like perfect in this apartment. It might be a day or two before I'd get to it. I mean, I have a grill sitting in my garage that I haven't set up for like a month. But, just do it today.
I could.
You could have it done by 11 a.m.
Probably sooner.
Yeah, probably wouldn't take that long.
Although you're not using it anyway.
No, that's the idea. Like, I don't want to turn it on.
Right, so what's the point?
There you go.
You would hate me, Joe, because I've had my bedroom light is like a light with 3 bulbs in it. 2 of the bulbs have been out for 2 years.
Wow.
In my room, like my light turns on, and my girlfriend says this to me all the time. I turn the light on. She's like, it doesn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Like, what are you turning it on for? It does not light the room up. If it's daytime and I turn the light on in my room, nothing changes. Even at night, it looks like it's like some sort of, I don't know. It's a disaster. I gotta change that.
It'll start flickering soon and look like a horror scene.
It does flicker already.
Joe has just offered me a trade in fantasy football that we can talk about and people here will care about it.
Oh.
Ready?
Yes, we would.
It comes down to, is DJ Moore going to work out from a fantasy standpoint? Is it going to work?
I think he probably will. That's why I'm valuing him.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
high.
The trade is I think it's a fair trade. It comes down to, do I want to make this deal? Do I want to get on board with DJ Moore in fantasy? Now, I won the league last year. Like I already have a good team.
Right.
If there's one thing I need, I would add another receiver. Doesn't have to be a young receiver, just another guy that I'm going to start every week.
Right.
And I think you're starting DJ Moore in fantasy on almost any team, right?
Yeah, I think
I think he's going to start
100%.
starting in almost every fantasy football roster.
He's Josh Allen's number 1 receiver.
Yeah. And in this very same league of ours, when the Bills traded for Diggs, I got on that and traded for him pretty much as soon as I could because I always loved Diggs, even in Minnesota.
Yep.
And I'm like, we all do this in fantasy football, don't we? Hey, you know what I'd really like to do? It's why you draft Keon Coleman or maybe you draft James Cook. Like, this is a spot where this player would go, and I would like to be invested where when he scores, I'm excited about it, you know?
Right. Now, I think the other part of why he would be valued high in this specific trade in league, this is a dynasty league.
Yeah.
So you're making a multi-year investment.
Yes,
in
I
him.
get
And
3 years.
I think the good news would be that the Bills, this is part of, I think, what's been the criticism of the trade, but it's a reality. They are committed to him.
Yeah.
Like, there is money tied up. This is not a 1 year, see how it goes, and we'll take it from there. This is, he got here. They actually moved salary around to commit to him for, I think it's at least 3 years. Like, this dude is on the team and playing for 3 years minimum. So, I mean, I would have my reservations about just how good it could be. But, yeah, no, like, part of why I value him so much in the offer is, what's his base, what's his floor? Is it 60 catches and 1,000 yards?
You would hope so.
Is his floor what John Brown did before Diggs got here? Which was, this guy's our number 1, and he's pretty good. You probably would want a better number 1, but he's fine as our number 1. John Brown in his year before Diggs got here was 115 targets, 1,060 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Doesn't that feel like DJ Moore's floor?
That'd be a good floor, I would say. I'd like it.
Yeah.
I think there's more than that as a ceiling, but right around the 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 70 catches. Like, I just think the opportunity will be there for him to at least get that. That's not going to win you your fantasy league if he has only 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Well,
but it's not going to be a disaster.
No, I mean, if he's my third receiver, he might help win the fantasy
that would
league.
be
Like,
pretty hot.
You know, again, it's a fantasy football discussion about my team. So sorry, those of you listening, but it's about more. Like, in that spot, I've got it behind JSN and Drake London. Like, that's a good third receiver to have.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Do I want to do it? Do I want to go further in? The conductor of the receiver train, we finally got a year where we got receivers. Here's what I got to do. I got to make this trade, and then I'm not going to – I don't have first or second round pick in this year's draft also because I've traded them away. Yeah. So I'm not going to get Skylar Bell, right? He's going earlier than that. It's too bad. I could get fully invested. Skylar Bell.
You have a third?
I have a third. The last third of the draft.
You might get your hands on Skylar Bell.
I don't think Skylar Bell's making it that far.
I don't know enough to answer that. Me and Callie are starting up a dynasty.
We are.
Oh, yeah?
We're building one.
We
yeah.
actually were. Yeah.
Are there any?
Funny.
Here's a fun. Are there any fun rules that are a part of it?
We don't know yet. We're
like
kinda-
building it.
Yeah, we're figuring all that out.
You should
so-
definitely have something unique.
Are we getting invites to this league? Or no?
If you want them, absolutely.
If I want an invite, that's not getting invited. That's asking to be in.
You're invited 100%.
Yes, without question. We thought you were too far above a dynasty league that was just off the ground.
Oh no, just Startup Dynasty.
Okay,
then let's go.
I mean, listen, as long as you know what I would like in my life, I'd like to be in a league where I'm not the commissioner.
No, that's me and
I
Callie
only
got
have
it.
a couple leagues where I'm not the commissioner. I have 2.
We're co-commissioning.
We are co-commissioning.
Actually, would this be my no?
new
This would be
dynasty
my second league. I'm not in the commissioner.
How will you settle disagreements on things if there's 2 of you?
Fist fight.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah, I'm at a severe disadvantage early.
A
on
groin
that one,
stretch.
but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea. Advantage. Joe.
What's it-
Yeah, you want to throw like it doesn't even have to be anything. Throw with either a super flex or tight
I'm
end
thinking
premium.
super flex.
I want, man, if it's tight end premium, I'm out.
No,
so,
I don't need to do
I'm
that.
so out on any tweaking of the scoring system.
What's wrong with tight end?
I just
You're
want-
not, are you
I
in
want-
a tight end premium?
No,
league?
I want nothing to do
It
with
doesn't really affect it as much as you think it does.
I want nothing
Then
to do
why are you
with it.
doing it?
That's a good point.
Because really, I guess where it doesn't affect it, I think, as much is tight end to tight end. Like, it doesn't really make the difference between Trey McBride and Brock Bowers as big as it is otherwise. But it makes Trey McBride more valuable compared to the other positions.
Okay.
So your best tight ends, instead of going in like the 3rd round, are going to go in the 1st round.
Yeah.
No interest.
Really?
I'm a
well, I mean, you are a wide. You
I'm a
are not
receiver
only
guy.
a receiver trained guy. You are also, I think, like me. Think of him like a receiver.
No.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Which is what tight end.
You're valuing those people even more and saying it's like a handicap them playing that position.
Tight
Well,
end-
I thought they were receivers.
Tight end premium is asking me to think of him like a receiver, and I'm just not going to do that.
No.
I don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. What's a fun wrinkle? I suggested a couple weeks ago one fun wrinkle is that every 5 years you have to trade your first round pick, or we draw. It's a complete random draw 5 years out of the draft order. So every year that ends in 5 or 0, there's no lottery. The draft order is actually preset. Like I don't know, that's just a goofy thing. Like if you're gonna do a brand new dynasty startup league, like we gotta think of a wrinkle.
Yeah, we're trying. I like super flexed, but that barely even feels like a wrinkle anymore. So I think we'll do that, and then maybe something. We'll sprinkle something in. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
we got some good consultants here.
We were thinking Superflex off the bat, considering every dynasty league I've been in is, I kind of wish we did Superflex after a couple years. And I'm like, what? Instead of worrying about having to add that in, let's just do it from the start.
What about if you did something? I might need help on this one because this is just coming to my brain because I like guillotine.
Yeah.
You're doing dynasty. You can't do guillotine if you're doing dynasty unless I'm trying to fold in some idea where you present relegation and guillotine where like, hey, if you finish in the bottom 3, it's dynasty. So you usually get to keep all your players. If you finish in the bottom 3, your rosters are emptied and they all go into the draft.
Whoa. How do you bounce back though?
Yeah.
Like
You'd be dead.
Well, maybe you just have those 3 draft amongst their 3 teams of players.
How about
might just take their own teams back at that point. Create
how
a
about
pact.
one last place team every week has like you've got a protected list. You can only protect a certain amount of players.
Yeah.
You got one. I don't know. There's something you could do.
Some that do exist. Like, are you guys in any Empire leagues?
No.
I am in one of those. This is nothing to do with the scoring or the rosters or anything. It's just what you do with the money. And an Empire League, for those that are not familiar, is half the pot every year goes to the winner, and the other half of the pot becomes the Empire pot.
Oh, okay.
Which you could do it one of 2 ways. That continues to grow until somebody wins the league 2 years in a row, or someone just wins the league twice total. If you do it 2 years in a row, you might go 15, 20 years.
Right.
And then the pot becomes like,
crazy.
$50,000 or so. I don't know how much you want to do your
fun.
league for. You could do that. You could do. I mean, I think Superflex is the best of the. Is it even unique at this point?
No.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Half of leagues at least feel like they're Superflex.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
which means 2 quarterbacks.
If I was going with a wrinkle, I like one of the first ever fantasy leagues I was in was 50-yard plus touchdowns are double touchdowns. It's a big play league.
Yeah.
Any touchdown over 50 is double points. And that's kind of fun. It's any position, the quarterback, the receiver, the running back.
Yeah.
If it's 50 yards plus, it's a double touchdown. And, that introduces some randomness. It also introduces, I want breakaway stars. I want a deep threat. Like, you kind of shuffle your decisions a little bit based on just that. So, a 12-point touchdown because Dak threw it, 58 yards to George Pickens. That's 12 for Pickens. That's 8 for Dak.
Right.
Yeah. You would go for big play offenses in a league like that.
That could be fun.
How do you feel about salary caps and stuff like that in a dynasty league?
Hate them.
Hate them?
We tried a league like that, and
I've never tried it.
It didn't work.
No. I don't need that.
There was way too much to it. It's like I became an accountant.
Yeah, hate
trying to figure out cap space in the future. And then actually, I think the league got stuck because everybody ran out of cap space, and there was nowhere to move the players. So the league had to fold.
League folded. I'm in 3 dynasty leagues. All 3 have the exact same format. It's Shope's league. I was in that for like 3 years. Liked it so much. Created 2 leagues that are exactly the same.
Yeah.
One with family, and one with the guys on the street. And it's you draft a player, you have him for life. Like that guy's
no trades or anything though.
No, but trades is how you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
sorry.
in the Shope League, if you draft, I drafted Bijan, and I never have to get rid of him until I want to.
Right.
Like I think that's the right way to do dynasty. It's not necessarily forcing. Like cut your rosters down and do stuff like that. But you draft a guy, you just have him.
Right. You decide when you lose a guy. You don't lose a guy because something happened.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat have a good idea for like a wrinkle that they've mentioned?
I've not been a vampire. If you lose the last ranked team by 50 plus points, they can take someone off your bench. If you lose by 100 plus, they can take a starter.
That's
ridiculous.
That's a very weird vampire format.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
That's just not a vampire team. That's just like a vampire element.
Right. Yeah. Like if I beat you by 50,
you get somebody
I
off my
can
bench.
steal a guy
off the bench.
Yeah.
And then if it's 100,
is a
you get a
starter.
starter.
Doing that in Dynasty could really hurt because what if it's a bye week and you beat me by 50 and A.J. Brown, see ya.
You would start him.
What?
You'd start him.
Yeah, right. You have to think about that.
I don't like that. I don't like an environment where I feel like I want to play a guy that's on a bye.
Right.
That also will increase the odds I lose by 50. And then you'll take a guy.
True.
What about a rivalry thing? You ever done anything like that?
Oh, like you
no,
pick a
I
team
mean,
to be
draft
rival
your
with?
opponents like late in a season can happen. No, I mean, I've been in leagues where there's one too many games and you have to kind of have a rival that you play twice.
Yeah.
But nothing beyond that. I mean, there are things out there, I'm sure.
Nothing in the chat, really. They're all excited about the bullpen league that we did last year.
Is anybody suggesting IDP? Because if they are, you should block them. You should block them immediately.
The worst thing
get
I
me
ever
out.
It's the worst thing in all of fantasy football.
Worst thing I ever did.
Yeah, get me out.
Think of a league where Myles Garrett not touching Josh Allen and getting credit for a sack at the end of the season is worth like 3 points. Remember that play?
Yeah.
The one Allen got hurt on. He fell, and Garrett never touched him.
No.
That'd be like worth a 30-yard run in fantasy football because all defensive stats are subjective. That's the other reason I hate IDP. Every stadium counts tackles differently. So, like in this stadium, you might get 10 tackles, but in this stadium with the scorekeeper, you're going to get 6. Don't do IDP. Nobody should ever do IDP in fantasy. It's a disaster.
Ultimo in chat says, I like the idea of wagering players versus your opponent that week. Every week you pick a player to wager, and if you win, you get to you take the other guy's player. If you lose, then you lose the player you wager. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, really, the only thing I've not tried in fantasy that I've always been curious to, because I've Guillotine, Vampire I've tried, not my favorite. IDP I hate. We tried our salary cap league once upon a time.
Didn't work.
I've never had anything relegation related. And part of that is because you need more people, right?
You need 24 people.
Or you could do 2 10-team leagues, but really you'd want to have 2 12. And so you need 24 people, and you need half of them to sign up for. I'm willing to start in a lower division.
Not just that.
You would want to make for less money than what the first division was.
I made it out of the league below.
Yeah. You were top 3 and you go up to the top
Do
league.
I have a player that you have in the top league? Are there double players?
Yeah, at that point you almost couldn't do dynasty.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's got to be.
And if you're not dynasty, what's the point of relegation? You're doing relegation redrafts.
Yeah, that seems stupid.
I mean, really, I guess you could probably do it. You could say it's dumb and it would be unfair. The only way you could do it then would be, double player. Like, you're kind of an expansion team and you're not allowed to keep those guys, but then what are your odds of staying? Like you're picking off the scraps. You could do it. You'd have to have like a keeper rule where it's like 6 guys instead of 20. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never seen anybody figure that out. A way to do relegation in fantasy.
Yeah.
If anyone ever came to me with like a good way to do it, I would definitely try it. Might not work, but I would definitely want to try it.
Yeah.
Patrick's on the line. IDP. What's up, Patrick?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Morning.
I've been running a IDP league for about 15 years. I'm just kind of curious what you don't like about it. We all love it.
I mean, I just went through. I think the stats are all basically subjective, and I've got guys like Jordan Brooks on the Dolphins, who's not a good linebacker that gets the most fantasy points because he's on the worst team. Here's why I don't like IDP. You're not really. Not always. Most times, you're not trying to pick the best defensive players. You're trying to pick the best players on the worst defenses, because those are the guys that get the most tackles.
How different is that? How different is that from wanting the quarterback of the Cowboys because they have a bad defense and he's going to throw a lot?
Not totally different.
Yeah,
I think it's more extreme though than that, because you still probably need the quarterback to be good in most instances. Right? If Max Brosmer is the quarterback on a horrible team, he's not going to pile up 400 yards.
Right.
But no, you're right. That's a worthy point. That I just think it was a more extreme level of it on IDP.
803-0550. Revisiting the trade offer I was sent from Mr.
Yeah, did we get to? Were you thinking it over?
What we got to? He offered me DJ Moore for Aronde Gadsden and my first. And what the Fantasy Pros value chart says is that Moore for Gadsden straight up is pretty much the deal.
Yeah.
They are pretty much the same number.
Yeah.
It would be like maybe a second, but not the first.
These trade value charts.
Sorry.
You just got to go by them.
Sorry to bring you just a fact you don't like. The value chart says it's pretty close to even.
Aren't you always ranting against the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart and why everyone's got to go by the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart?
I rant against the Jimmy Johnson value chart because when you trade equal numbers, only one side is accused of winning. Right. Oh, look, the number matches evenly. This is why it was brilliant for the team that traded down.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, he said the numbers are the same.
Right. I don't like trade value charts.
Well, you don't like this one because
I do not like this one.
You don't want to do it straight up?
I do not want to do it straight up. No, I do not.
Yesterday
Gadsden's not. I want the pick next year. I want picks next year.
Then I'll keep Gadsden and what? The first next year and then what?
That's not enough.
That's definitely not enough.
You got Brandon Ayuk over there.
I do have Brandon Ayuk.
Do I trust that guy at all?
You're gambling, man. Go ahead and take Brandon Ayuk.
You would do that?
Ayuk for DJ Moore?
No. Jeez, what are you, crazy? Ayuk in the first.
No, the first is worth. What's Ayuk's value?
You're gonna pick 11th or 12th next year.
I know the 12th.
Go
overall,
win the champ. Show me the trade value chart out. What the trade value on a championship is? How about that? What's that? Is that 50 points? Is that 10 points? Is that 100?
I won it last year. Pressure's off.
Oh, listen to this.
Pressure's off. I'd like to go back to back.
Go be a dynasty.
The trade value chart says that DJ Moore and the 12th pick of the first round are like.
Next year's 12th pick is worth DJ Moore.
You're right. I was on the wrong year.
Because I got to wait a year. Like you get, I could trade DJ Moore for the 12th pick in a year if it goes well.
What if I told you right now?
You're getting a bonus season.
What if I told you right now? This is wild. Fantasy Pros has next year's. I guess that's the 7th through the 12th pick. Yeah. I think it has it worth more.
The pick next year?
Next year's worth
All right,
more.
Then I'll call you in 9 months, and I'll ask you if you want to trade your 11th pick for DJ Moore after he has 1,200 yards. And guess what? He'll still be worth the 11th or 12th pick.
We're going to talk about this trade for 3 weeks. I can tell.
Well, one way not to do it is you could just take the offer. It's in your inbox.
Add something to it. 803-0550 is our number, and 1-888-550-2550.
Adding Mason Tipton to the offer.
Do I want to get on this DJ Moore train?
Adding Darnell Mooney to the train.
Really tempting. I'd really like to. What number is he wearing? He's wearing number 2? That's good.
It's a good number.
That's good. That is a good number for him
It's
to
a
wear.
really good number.
Be at the. I mean, Josh is going to feed him too.
What do you want? You want Geno Smith? You want Jacoby Brissett? That guy was great at the end of last year.
Yeah, I've got 3 quarterbacks better than all yours. I don't need one of those.
Better than Mahomes?
Yeah. Allen, Lawrence, Purdy, all better fantasy ideas than Mahomes.
Better fantasy guys.
Yeah, that's it. We're talking fantasy football.
I know. I'm just.
All right,
yeah.
we'll get a break and not talk about our fantasy teams next. I don't know if the Elias Sports Bureau would put this together for me or not, but I would wonder if the Bills' defense could possibly have the most snaps to retirement in a 1-year offseason in NFL history.
Right.
Poyer?
Yeah.
What's Trey White doing? Might he play again? Maybe. Like, I'm not ruling anybody. Jordan Phillips?
Yeah.
Joey Bosa?
Milano probably will continue playing.
Okay,
right?
these guys got to eventually find some spot.
Vanessa, well, he's young enough. He should play.
Vanessa, I don't think, is retiring. He's been trying to find a team. But Bosa to retirement, maybe. Working on his golf game.
Yeah, the number of snaps by these guys, too. It's like Bosa, it was 562 snaps.
It's like 2,000 snaps that are just not anywhere now.
Yeah, Phillips was over 200 last year, which is amazing. Shaq Thompson at 417 snaps.
He'll play again. He's going to play somewhere.
Sure?
Yeah, he'll play.
All right. Trey White was 700 snaps last year.
I think he'll play again.
But again, like these guys are all unsigned and like your fringes of the league. Are any of them starters? How about that? Anybody?
No.
It's why it's just like it was so weird to me that was the time that McDermott got canned. Because I think you could always defend, like, time had passed. It was enough. Let's go. But he had a middle-of-the-road defense that made some late-game stops in the playoffs with those guys on the field that the league is telling you, like, they can't play football. They're not starters for us. We're not valuing them, that we're going to give them anything. And it's now almost June, and half the Bills' starting defense, a third of the Bills' starting defense from last year, the league is just like, yeah, no thanks. We're good.
Yeah. The latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now. Mm-hmm. And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuck's mouth. Mm-hmm. That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think
Sure.
I think I also understand the Sabres perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, I mean, he's elevated, right? Like from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like he was a third line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like he was not a top line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like, I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
The NHL bylaws, this and that, and I don't know every one, but you have non-compete clauses. So I can't resign today and go work for someone tomorrow. I can't work until Vegas gives me permission until this contract's up, which is at the end of next season. And I think they do that probably because they wouldn't want a coach in the middle of the year to resign on February 1st and go work up the street on February 3rd, right? Because they like a better situation. In this case, there was 2 teams that asked. It's public knowledge now, and I would like to talk to them. I want to go to work. I'm a hockey coach.
Bruce Cassidy.
So another example of the Golden Knights are a cold-hearted organization and always have been.
What if they just want a draft pick for him? Which they would,
you think that's why they're doing it?
Maybe. I mean, the Sabres had to give the Penguins a draft pick for Dan Bilesma.
They did?
Yeah, they gave him a third-round pick.
Third-round pick? Yikes. I thought the reason why would be Vegas didn't want him staying in the Western Conference because the 2 teams that asked, I believe, are Edmonton and somebody else in the West. I don't remember who the other one is. Okay, yeah, I guess it could be for a pick. Like, hey, if you want Cassidy as your coach, you got to give us our second back that John Tortorella cost us for media violations. I don't know.
803-0550. We got a brand new feature we're going to introduce, but first, Jake in Buffalo's up. Hey, Jake, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was calling in because I actually do have a 24-person regulation league that we're in.
Okay.
It is redraft, though. So it is not Dynasty. We tried to figure out how to do Dynasty, and it just, doesn't work. But
yeah,
essentially, the first year, we had everyone randomly put into either the top division or the bottom division. And we have 2 guys on standby. So the last 2 teams in the bottom division actually get kicked out, and then 2 guys move up to the bottom division. And then if you come in first place overall, in the standings, or if you win the bottom division, you move up. And then in the top division, basically 2 guys get booted down, like the last place in the season and last place in the toilet bowl. And it is going to be our second year in the league. And basically, as the years go on, the pot for the top league gets slowly bigger over the years. So that's kind of how we have our league laid out. But again, it's redraft, so we didn't really figure out a dynasty way to do it. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
So,
kind of cool. So
with redraft, how did you say you do it with the rosters though? Like, are there double rosters? Because you're in.
Yeah, it's two separate. It's really 2 separate leagues.
Gotcha. You're 2 separate leagues.
Yeah, it's basically 2 separate leagues.
Okay.
Yeah. How many? Wait, sorry. One more time. How many guys go up? 2 each year?
Yeah, 2. Yeah, each year 2 guys get booted out of the league completely, and then 2 guys go up, 2 guys go down.
Gotcha.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
I think if you're gonna do a relegation fantasy league, you got to do redraft. I just don't see how you would figure it out otherwise, unless you did just like a
AFC league and an NFC league. But the rosters would have to be small.
But then you'll get mixed as soon as they jump up.
Right. Yep. All right. Want to introduce our new feature? We're calling it Sense of Talk. Is that what we're going?
That was your name for it.
I like.
We had a couple of other.
Working on workshopping some
Sense of
names.
Talk.
Yeah.
Let's check out with our sense of Tuck, and that's whether or not Alex Tuck will resign or won't. Owen has made a graphic.
I do have a graphic.
So if you're watching on the stream, get ready. Here it comes.
Yes.
And if you're not, you're gonna want to go back and watch this because Owen made a graphic. Basically, over the course of this offseason with the rumors and the reports and what is our sense of Tuck? He's gonna be gone or he's coming back. Sliding scale, right? The sense of Tuck. We'll discuss where we place him on our sense of Tuckometer.
Mm-hmm.
You can just throw ometer on anything, right?
I think it works.
Yeah, pretty much.
A tachometer. We're going to go with 5 spots, right?
Yeah.
He's here, trending here, toss-up, trending gone, good as gone. Okay, so there are 5 spots on the scale. Is he as good as gone? Is he going to come back? Trending one way or toss-up? We could put it like between toss-up and trending. Whatever.
I've got him in the dead middle right now.
Right now he's in the dead middle.
I can
There you go.
slide him
Perfect.
around there.
Sense of talk.
I think we need to move him down.
I think that is
trending gone.
Trending
gone.
I would agree.
I got him halfway through to trending gone.
Look at this Owen sliding him up on the
let me
screen.
see.
This is great.
Right there, look good.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Do you think that's a good spot?
Yeah. Slide him.
Move him just a little bit to the right?
Out of
Just a little bit,
But not
there.
much.
They didn't know what we would do if we got a
Like
guy to do graphics.
Yeah, like here we go. Right there. Halfway to the next line, right where you just put him.
all right,
I think
there we
this
go.
is the spot.
That's where we keep him for now.
I must be behind on the feed because he's still in the dead middle for me.
You are behind on the
There's a little bit of a delay.
I'm behind in my own shows.
You hit live
This
at
is
the
a
bottom.
little- This is our show. I'm still behind. Hit refresh. There we go. I like
There
it.
you go.
Yeah. Trending out of talk.
Yeah, I think this is the spot. So the latest was from Frank Saravelli. The Sabres are holding firm at 9. Merrick talked about what? Him getting a lot on the market. I mean, there have been Seattle rumors, right?
There have been reports that he has a bad taste in his mouth from Frank Saravelli, which you mentioned.
A sour taste. That was from Frank Saravelli as well.
Both sides sour taste from bad playoff series from him, and he's all upset.
Yeah. The only thing that I think, not the only thing, one thing that we haven't mentioned that I think could really help the idea of Tuck staying is how influential Dahlin and Tage might be in this.
Yeah.
Because they were very strong at their end of season press conferences, as you would suggest or you would guess about him staying. And, like, how much does he mean to them and to the room? He is the Calgary dinner that's been referenced multiple times by the players and coaches and whoever about them really sitting down and deciding, like, this is what we need to do and, like, really locking in. Who's at that dinner? It's Dahlin, Tage, and it's Tuck. Like, he's one of the big three leaders of the team. And how are the other two going to feel if, like, no, we're not keeping him?
I feel like we should have had this full conversation before deciding he was like trending out of Tuck.
I think this is why
you convinced me it's still a toss-up.
No, I think this is why he's not all the way to the left.
Okay.
Part of it is I think they should have some influence, but this is not going to be you have to keep him because Dahlin wants him to stay, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, sorry, if he wants $12 million, we're not doing that because you want to keep him.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Sorry, guys, but we'll get you a good player to replace him, and you'll all live.
Right.
Like that stuff can only go so far. There's also there's some part of that could be like, this is the business, and that's our buddy. We're gonna try and help him out. But if it doesn't work, then
the other part of it is also like when guys leave because it's about we trade him for futures and prospects and rebuilding. That's tough to see your friend go. But if your friend goes and the following week you've made a trade for a number one center and signed, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's the business. We're trying to win the cup. And, hey, as much as I love that guy,
this is the way it goes.
He had to go. And we're going to try to win. I wish him luck. All right, so our sense of talk is trending gone.
Trending gone. Yeah.
We are at that, in between a couple of our ticks there, but we'll keep you updated on
We will revisit throughout next week.
Indeed. New rumors, new reports, it will all be included.
Tage, according to Quelly on the YouTube feed, Tage said that Samuelson, Greenway, and Zucker were at the dinner too.
Right. That's right.
Greenway feels like an interesting name to be in that group.
Veteran.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Veteran guy.
I think he's more well respected in that room than maybe
I think he's
realizes.
very popular.
I think people really like him.
Yep.
I liked him when I skated with him one time, and he was cool. It was good.
803-0550, our phone number. What else is going on?
I have a poll up on Twitter that's like 50-50, which is rare. Who are you more worried about getting in Buffalo's way this next season? Kansas City Chiefs or Florida Panthers? And it's basically a dead heat right down the middle. And they're both kind of similar, right? Like it's bounce back candidate champions that didn't make the playoffs last year that does everyone just kind of assume will be in your hair again? I think that is probably the case with Florida. I think it's probably the Chiefs as well, right? Doesn't everybody expect the Chiefs are going to be back in the playoffs? Or does it? Or am
if
I wrong about
Mahomes
that?
is healthy again, his supporting cast, like they're actually going to try to run the ball, which is something they never did.
Now they have
They
Kenneth Walker
never did it well.
and-
They've never done it well.
Yeah.
But
how's that
Mahomes.
going to go for them? They have a Mahomes who might be, even if he's on the field and healthy, I keep bringing up the Burrow comparison from when he first returned from that first ACL injury he had, and how Cincinnati, they did not unleash him for like 10 games that year. And they were very conservative, and it was a little strange. Is that going to be the Chiefs? Like, are they, because the other thing about Mahomes, think about how the Chiefs have operated on offense in recent years. He's been running a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to, because lack of weapons, protection issues up front, no run game. Mahomes has been running more, and you can't do that, or you're not going to want to do that off that injury. So I am interested in what form they'll be in. I feel like I am very confident the Panthers are going to be a great team again. Too much talent if they're healthy, and we'll see what they do in goal. Like, I feel like the division next year for the Sabres, like you have to go through the Panthers, and you have to go through the Lightning. And I'm not sure the Bills will have to go through the Chiefs. So I'd say Florida. And
All right.
only half agree with me.
803-0550. Show's almost over. We got Extendo Sports coming up, then the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show. All three of you boys are back again. Derek's still out sick. It stinks being sick.
In the summer, nonetheless.
For a couple days, too, yeah. All right, so Zach, Joe Callie, Owen back in. Now that we have this incredible graphics package and the ability to do this, a few in the chat suggested we do a live decibel meter, like a noise meter.
Oh, here we go.
We could do that live during the show.
Let me.
We can look into that. I've got
it
a
could
live
be
one
live.
on my right.
You could be. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, but can
for
it be
Owen.
accurate?
I've got one on my watch right here.
Yeah.
It's so realistic, guys.
Yes, an actual decibel meter is realistic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The chicken wing on the Jumbotron
It was
is
not about the chicken wing only.
also Owen's getting he's got 3 claims to fame. He's working on the third one. The first is, of course, Owen Parker, the parlay killer, who once killed 11 consecutive parlays.
True.
Yeah, that was pretty
Number
good.
2 is believing the chicken wing meter was live. And now number 3, we're working on another new identity for Owen, and that is wrong group chat. He has been sending us cryptic messages in the group chat. We're like, that was definitely not for us, was it?
No.
No,
It's like 3 in the last 5 days.
I know. I don't know what's
Wrong.
going on.
Sorry, guys. Wrong group chat. Wrong group chat.
I was walking out to my car. He's sitting in his still. I walk out. I'm like, you wrong chatted us again.
Yeah.
And he
I go,
didn't even
"What?"
know. He didn't even know.
Come on.
So do you have a group chat that is similar name
There's
to...
it's a similar. What it is the picture. Is like it's a similar color of the group chat.
Yeah.
But that really shouldn't be an excuse because our group
Right.
chat is like in that main like
Pinned.
priority
It's
pin
pinned. Yeah,
bubble,
I got a pin.
and this other group chat is not, and so I still keep clicking this other group. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Don't-
maybe you're right. The picture might be the thing, because I was about to say I have our group chat name is Parlay Kings. I have another group chat that is Parlay Chasers. But the difference is ours is the king emoji, the
Right.
king crown, and the other one is the Predator from the movies.
Yeah.
So those look so different that I've never made this mistake, even though I have 2 parlay chats.
The email is sent came into the chat. And like,
Yeah,
what
the
is
email
this?
is sent.
A hit
Like,
man.
what
know.
email?
What could this be?
Right.
What email?
Send some sort of package.
Right.
Really, it was just an email asking for an editor.
Fair. I don't have any editors. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
803-0550. All right, Extendo Sports coming up here on WGR. I'd like to push back on something that's being said about talking off a lot. Does anybody really think the Boston series, the Montreal series, changed the Sabres' thoughts on this? Does anybody really think that? Oh, we're going to let him walk because he had a bad series against Montreal, which, I mean, you could even argue he maybe didn't have a bad series. He just didn't actually get the puck in the net.
Right, like scoring chances, he was 3rd in the league in the second round or something.
Yeah.
Aren't
the Sabres going to look at that? If they're going to look at the goalie and say, well, the goalie played pretty well, it really wasn't his fault about one of these guys. Right. Wouldn't they have the same process about a forward where all right, it didn't go in the net, but we don't think he played badly.
Mm-hmm.
He played fine against Boston, great against Boston.
Played really well against Boston.
So as much as that talking point is out there about fans maybe and the willingness to move on, I do not think that the Montreal series has changed the Sabres' course.
It might alleviate, though, a little bit of the pressure to do what you – if you wanted to take the route of, I think I can find the next Alex Tuch and only pay $5 to $8 million for it and get the same level of production, I'm going to do that again. I did it with Doan. I did it with Tuch. I did it with McLeod. I'm going to go do that again. If you wanted to do that, I think it's easier to do it after Tuch had 0 points in the Montreal series. Because what if the opposite had happened? What if Tuch had done what he did in the Boston series, which was you lead the forwards in ice time, you're being used more than anybody, and you're like a point-a-game guy in round 2. And, I mean, if they had won the series with him doing that, I think that would increase it even more. Like, there would have been pressure to sign him. I think the better he did and the further you went in the playoffs, I almost feel like him having a goose egg in a 7-game series gives Jarmo an opportunity to say, hey, the appetite to bring you back isn't maybe what it was expected to be, and now I'm going to use that as an excuse to say, like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do anyway. Like, I think there are other smarter, sharper moves that we can make to replace you rather than give you the $10 million a year or $11 million per year, whatever.
The latest from Saravelli was that there's maybe a bad taste in the mouth from how things have gone right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll read you this clip. This is, again, the NHL Rumor Report on Twitter. I think this hardball has gone on so long, my guess is it's probably left a little bit of a sour taste in Tuch's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That he thinks it should be done by now.
I would kind of understand that. I think I also understand the Sabres' perspective of it, but I would totally get why a guy that gave a lot to this organization, loved this team growing up, has been really, I mean, he's elevated, right? Like, from what he was when he was traded here to what he is now. Go back and look at what he was in Vegas. Like, he was a third-line guy that he had scored exactly 20 goals one time, and he had crossed the 40-point threshold one time in his career. Like, he was not a top-line player in Vegas. And you become a part of a deal here, and like, all right, you elevated. You became a guy who had a 79-point season that had 3 30-goal seasons. Like, I rose up. I became a better player when I got here. And we, at the end of it, did what we set out to do. Like, we ended the drought. We made the playoffs. And I was underpaid the entire time. And I would understand why a guy would feel like, all right, you're going to take care of me now, right? And when that answer is no, business, and we don't feel comfortable paying you what another team would pay you, I could understand why he might feel a little scorn by that. I don't think the Sabres should change how they operate because of it.
In an effort to always find new ways to draft things and have leagues, I'm proud to announce our next fantasy league is next head coach of the Buffalo Sabres when the time comes. And since I thought of it, I'll take the first pick. And I'll take...
Again with this.
Think of a league.
You just claim to a first-round pick in every single...
You think of a league, you're going to have the first pick. I'll take Jay McKee. Jay McKee's just been announced as head coach of the Hamilton Hammers of the AHL. Congratulations to Jay. The Islanders making that announcement, their AHL club. Now head coach is Jay McKee.
This is for like 3 years down the line when Lindy Ruff retires this
like
league.
if you were to start,
It's a long-term league.
Who's going to be the next head coach of the Buffalo Sabres when Lindy's done?
What's the longest Lindy could go?
Ooh.
He's on a 2-year extension?
5 years.
Be cool if he got to 2030, because then he would still continue the streak of being a part of the Sabres organization in
another decade?
A decade, yes.
That would be insane.
So, Lindy, he's already, coaches don't coach into their 70s in the NHL.
Right. He's 66, right?
Yeah. Now, Rick Bowness.
I was going to say, Rick Bowness is around still, though.
69 years old. He actually became the oldest head coach in NHL history to win a playoff game last year.
And Bowness is 71 now.
Right, but he's not in the league now, right? Oh, no, he didn't get fired?
Coach. No,
he didn't get fired after all that?
Yeah. No, he's the head coach.
All right, the fellas are going to take over for the Extra Point Show. We're back Monday.
I'll draft Michael Pekka, by the way.
Michael Pekka, all right. Anybody guys want to make a pick? We'll do it Monday.
Monday. You have a weekend to think about it. You're on the clock.